They pop crowds. They pop corn. They pop culture. It's the Lowdown.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the latest installment of the Lowdown Popcast. I am the voice of PCW and the voice of Lugoff Elgin Demons football, Elliot Popston. To my right is the founder of the hottest wrestling promotion in the Mid-Atlantic, fresh off of a banger of a show this past week. Owner and agent of Flyer Float Travel, where you can book your dream getaway at flyerfloattravel.com. Host of the Shane event, can sell ice to an Eskimo. New York's greatest export, Shane Dorr.
What's going on, man?
Oh, man, just another great episode coming today.
I can't wait
to talk about that. Podcast.
I can't wait to talk about that PCW show.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. To my left, six-time fantasy football champion, podcast enthusiast, soon to be Kevin Nash's favorite podcaster. Just like his favorite wrestler, he's been known to outwork everyone, although some may argue he just works everyone with his self-proclaimed hottest Funko Pop collection. Not your average wrestling mark. Handbook, Jonathan Winburn.
What's going on?
What's up, bro?
I'm here.
Yeah. Man,
we here.
We in here. Man, first, already alluded to it. Heck of a show this past week. Kudos, Shane Dorr.
Dude is money.
And everyone part of PCW. Heck of a show.
There and the neat thing is, Jonathan was there. So
yeah.
we can all collectively talk about it.
I was able to make it, surprisingly.
Maybe we can talk about that too. But the the atmosphere. Kudos to Flex, D'Angelo and Alex Avion. Their people showed up and showed out that night.
Tag team debut.
And the cool thing is, like, they were just contagious, man. That whole crowd, they electrified the whole crowd all night long, and 300 people again. It led to us have a discussion that we're gonna book a bigger place for 2023. So,
well, and it's a testament to Ethan Case and the Palmetto Wrestling Academy, all the work they put into this talent star maker.
Speaking of Palmetto Wrestling Academy, I saw a video. It was with your child and Mason Miles.
Well, yeah, future.
That was the most touching, amazing thing I think I've seen. Remind me of that video of Ethan's child, Sterling.
Yep.
So it's amazing to see what is held most high to these people that come out of this academy, man, or that come under his tutelage. What comes first? What's most important? And I think that video spoke volumes, and you can kind of talk about it, but I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I didn't even know what was going on. Asher's out there. Asher loves hanging out around the ring, getting in the ring, trying to run the ropes, and talking to the wrestlers, watching the wrestlers, trying to really be part of that. And now I walk out, and he's got Mason Miles in a chokehold.
Did he tap out?
Yeah,
he tap out for him?
Yeah, he did.
See?
He taps out and stuff. And now I saw that, and I had to get it on video, because it's one of those things that Asher will probably remember the rest of his life.
Oh yeah.
It was a very cool moment. I saw the video too.
And what 2-3 seconds? That was it.
Hey, lasted a lifetime.
Yep. But he's always liked Mason Miles anyways. He's always liked him. And
I like Mason too. Just
I do
tell him.
Well, I do too. I like Mason. I think he's a really good guy. Even though his persona in the ring is different, obviously, because he's a heel, but
it's a dick.
He's man, I love him, man. He's a good dude.
And his parents. You ever met his parents?
Oh yeah.
James and Kelly. Oh my gosh, man. They are absolutely phenomenal.
Yep, good people.
But the thing about me, we're like all the different personas Mason's put on since he's came into PCW. Remember when he used to tag team with, I don't know, a guy named Yuta?
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta, AEW, part of the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, man, those two together were phenomenal.
Classy. He was classy. Mason Miles reminded me of a younger, smaller Paul Orndorff.
Yeah. And remember the glass,
The boa.
and the pinky.
Yep. Always did the pinky up.
Bless you,
Does the
Mason
pinky
Miles.
down.
We love you, Mason Miles. Like, I'll have to get him on this episode too sometime. But
Well, and when we do that, we need to make sure Keith Hensley knows, because Keith Hensley is the biggest Mason Miles fan out there.
down since day one.
Yep.
Well, what do you think, Jonathan? What stuck out to you about PCW this past show?
It was so. I mean, I've not been to a ton of shows. I mean, I started coming this year, and I've had to miss a few because of work. But it was probably my favorite show that I've been to.
That's
I mean,
strong.
the matches. I enjoyed all the matches on the card. The crowd was electric. I mean, that was probably the loudest I've heard the crowd.
The whole flow of the show seemed good.
My favorite moment was
Donnie Hardy.
I already know. Can I predict it? Can I try and predict it? It had to be, because it was my favorite moment of the show. That dang super kick between Shawn Legacy and Anthony Green.
no.
Oh,
It was Nature Boy Chris Wiggins.
oh my Lord.
Yes. Yep. Yes, that was it.
Bro, you're right. You win. you don't remember the things until somebody else brings it back up. But
Nature Boy ref stash.
dude, that whole moment and that build to that chop, and then Wiggins doing the flare, it brings a tear to my eye right now because it's that funny. And watching the guys to my left reaction, he was with his girlfriend or his wife or something. And he's obviously an old school wrestling fan. I've never seen him before, but he absolutely
Pop.
If he had false teeth, they would have came flying out.
Well, that's happened on our show before. Thank you, Malachi. Oh.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people in the crowd that I haven't seen before. So I mean,
It was
that's,
weird,
that's-
but it's a good thing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a good thing.
Growth.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. The buzz is hot behind PCW right now. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
But you were right. The super kick
Oh,
was a close second.
the cell, man. Oh my Lord. That match, probably from beginning to end, between Shawn Legacy and Anthony Green, was probably my favorite match of the night. Just because of what things they're able to do when they're able to do it, the story they told together, for never being part or never having a build to it. I think that takes talent. Anthony Green, by the way, is probably one of my new favorite heels.
Yeah, he's
so good.
He scared the crap out of my son.
Yes, he did. It was awesome to watch.
I looked at Jonathan. We just started laughing.
So the whole show, Ash is just yelling out, talking junk, and then Anthony came out and walked past him, didn't acknowledge him at all, and then
That was only the second match in.
And then as soon as Asher lost focus or turned back to the curtain, Green just turned around and jumped at him, and Asher about fell back over the seat.
Who did Asher do the Undertaker throat slash to?
He did that to Rudy J.
Okay, so Rudy J looks at me. He goes,
If I'd have done that,
if I had done that shit, I'd be kicked out of here. And then all of a sudden, Asher goes, something about, you're like, I don't have a machete or something. I'm like, oh, boy. So I'm like, whoo. Oh, man. Wrestling and their fans.
Heel 101.
Yeah.
Epic. And Rudy was like, he wanted to laugh. But I think it was amazing.
New Soda City champion. Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy
Surprised me. Did not expect it. Interested to see what happens with it.
Well, and it wasn't clean.
Correct.
It wasn't clean. So I mean, Moody, I have to at least get some type of reshot. I'm sure GM Dave will handle that.
I absolutely loved Best of the Rest, Ethan Case and Chip Day's gear.
Oh,
and
yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gear was fantastic.
The gear was fantastic. I messaged Ethan today. I said, dude, I just want to tell you, because a lot of people don't know, Ethan's very hard on himself.
Oh, yeah.
He wears a lot of hats, not just within PCW, but Palmetto Wrestling Academy, husband, father. Wears a lot of hats like all of us. And I think, I don't think he's understands how good he is and how vital he is to the company. So I think it's important to build people up like that. So I messaged him just randomly. I was like, hey, man.
Did you ask him about my shirt?
No.
No.
I'll let you
All
do
right.
that.
Ethan, I'm waiting on my shirt.
But I said, Ethan, y'all's gear, the music is perfect. He's like, yeah, I like the gear too. I designed it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Man, when I heard that hit, I was like, oh,
Yeah, it's a different feeling.
I'm going to Wichita.
Birmingham.
And I love Chip Day. Chip Day's low key probably one of my favorites too. Man, that whole show was stacked. Yeah.
It looks like going forward, I might be able to make it to the rest of the shows.
Oh, why is that, Jonathan?
Some changes at work.
Yeah, I felt the change hard too. Is what it is. We won't talk about that because this is a happy place for us.
It's funny you say
A lot
that
of changes in a week.
because I was just sharing that with someone else the other day, that how doing this is like,
We don't do it for the money. Don't do it for glory.
It's my quote unquote happy place. It's to where I get to vent. It's where I get to just kind of just hang out with two of my best friends.
Have you vented yet? I've never heard you vent.
Well, I don't mean like shout at the world vent. I just mean like, just release energy,
All right,
whatever it's called.
venting.
Yeah.
I'm glad I haven't seen you release, but
Oh, well, we'll see if we can get him there.
Well, I mean, no better night than tonight.
All right.
Yeah, so let's talk
takes
about
me
this.
back to the other conversation that was happening at the PCW show.
That was funny. That was funny.
Baru?
So I'm not gonna use specifics, but I'm sitting in the crowd, and it's quiet.
It was pretty quiet. It was pretty quiet.
I'm not gonna say names. I'm not gonna say who it was. I'm not gonna say who I heard it from. But I'm sitting in the crowd. I'm watching the wrestling show, and all of a sudden I hear this sweet, ever so sweet female voice yell the word vibrator.
If it's any consolation, I heard it too.
So did my son.
So all of a sudden I just hear this soft voice, but yell ever so loud because it's quiet at this time. People are engaged in this match, and yell the word vibrator. And I turned around and I looked at Jonathan.
Looked dead at me, and I was like,
Yep.
because I was like, you heard that right.
Jonathan just looked at me in the eye and just goes, "Yep." And I look at Trevor, and Trevor's just like,
Yep.
like deer in the headlights, didn't know what to say. And then I turned back around, and then I think the next word yelled was dildo, and I'm like, "This is a wrestling show. What's going on here?" And then poor Trevor, he's
Just like the
he's
time
scarred.
Kenny Omega wrestled a blow up doll. I mean,
Just the same equivalence, but it just goes to show you. You never know what you're going to get.
This is a family show.
Wrestling is like a box of chocolates.
yeah, that's what my son said at the end of the last match.
Somebody cussed.
It was Ethan.
Oh yeah,
D it S. Oh, that's not very family friendly. My son's a natural troll and don't even realize
I love
it.
it.
It's so
Love
great.
it. But man, the whole and I tell this story in joke because it's not part of the show or anything, but it's just funny just hearing people's conversations between one another in the crowd, and they think they're quiet,
It's like,
but
well,
they're not quiet.
It's like super loud, and all of a sudden pin drop.
Yeah,
Pin drop
so-
silence. Vibrator.
So it wasn't a part of the show. It wasn't any of the wrestling. It wasn't nothing that wasn't family friendly. It was just a conversation innocently between two women who had not been drinking anything. Well, I heard that too, but yeah. So one half was not drinking, but I heard something about mom juice,
Mom water.
mom water.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I actually think I want to try it. I Googled it.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty amazing. It's similar to seltzer, but it doesn't have the carbonation.
It's straight vodka infused with water and flavoring.
I'm in.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna try that. Maybe called Dad Water or something. I don't know.
Dad bud.
But yeah, it was the show was awesome. I had a great time with all the friends, and glad Jonathan was able to go. Elliot got to see you do your thing.
I take,
But I also agree that this is my happy place. I mean, we kind of touched on it last week, but there was some miscommunication, and I was already home when plans had got back on track about recording, and I was like, I really don't. It's an hour drive for me, so I was like, it was wasn't gonna get here till after midnight. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, that's probably one of the best times I have all week, so I can't just
Yeah.
not show up.
Yeah. It's one of those
So,
things
I made the trek here. It turned out to be a good show.
it was a good show. Our shows, in my opinion, just keep getting better. So I think we're on the right track for
Yeah,
sure.
dude. And just the storytelling. And here's what's most impressive. We've been gone for almost 2 months. We missed the whole month because of Hurricane Ian.
Did we?
PCW, not
PCW. Not us.
Oh.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
PCW.
I'm thinking-
Sorry, guys. Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
see, I told you.
We were talking about no. He was saying the show's
Baker's Mart 101.
Sir,
Nope, it was
no.
iPhone 14 Pro
Sir,
Max.
He said, Elliot said, I quote, and the shows keep getting better.
Yeah, I was talking about ours.
These shows, because that's what we were talking about.
My bad, crowd. See, that's my ADD kicking in.
Hey, go ahead and
Shane,
update us here.
Shane's got a 6.7-inch distraction in front of his face.
Is it only 6.7? Let me
That's
see.
what she said.
Only? Wait a minute. I thought it was 6.9. Let me measure it again. Let me pull up my tape measure. Nope, 6.7.
But
The
Flaccid.
vibrator was 6.9.
6.7, flaccid.
9.5. Still got wood.
Jonathan's choking on his finger.
I give it a 10.
Oh, my Lord.
Miss Davis
Shane still hasn't seen that
still
movie.
hasn't seen it. Miss Davis, you got a problem with me?
Which one?
Varsity Blues.
I have not. I'm sorry. I'm working on it, guys.
That's a cult classic of our time.
I'm into cult classics. So I think,
You ever seen the program?
no.
That's another good football movie. Cult
I
classic.
don't know when he'll. I mean, he's given us credit. I will give him that. But he never saw Top Gun.
Oh, and
We
that changed my
recommended
life.
it, and that's probably one of his favorite movies of all time.
I've definitely Maverick.
Up there. And then he doesn't watch episodic TV. We got him on Stranger Things, and now he's Stranger Thing obsessed.
I am obsessed. Can you tell?
And yeah, I can. You've man, you're making waves with this this new setup in here, man.
I'm getting there. I gotta get I gotta get stuff hung up though. I'm getting there.
Got looks like a new bar top in here.
I don't know what that's gonna be yet, but I just bought it. I don't know it yet.
Got an amazing array of Stranger Things posters and
Thought you were, I got a new wireless charger stand.
awesome wireless charging area.
12 devices at one time.
13 if you count the wireless charger in the middle.
That's awesome.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there, guys. And the carpet came out good. Yeah.
Procurement is it's a good thing.
Yep. Don't worry about it. All right.
Hey,
Speaking of Stranger Things, though, did you see the title for the first episode of season 5?
I did, but I don't remember what it was called. The something. The
upside down.
No.
Go ahead. I'll let you think. Can you get there?
I sent it.
figure it
I'm the one who sent it.
Maybe I'd already saw it.
Oh, I don't think you did, but
Who'd you send it to? Did you send it to me? Or you just sent it to him?
I think Jonathan.
Let's see how you did that.
It's called the something, and it's
The Wind Burn? That was called?
no.
No.
What's it called, Jonathan?
The Crawl.
The Crawl.
Uh-oh.
So if you use the research on that with the Dungeons and Dragons thing, there's a lot of things it could mean. Could mean it could mean Eddie.
Vecna.
I mean,
I definitely think it's them in the tunnels under Hawkins,
Oh, yeah.
like a maze.
yeah, that was something else it alluded to as well. And then I would love it, or it could mean something to do with Max. Maybe crawling back. To her normalcy. Maybe she's lost in the maze. We don't know. But either way, it can't come soon enough. What is it? Is it 2023? Or is it 2024?
I think it's 2024.
Maybe they'll rush it.
Speaking of things upcoming.
He likes to do that. That's 2 weeks in a row.
But
I don't know what that was.
Not that hard. Just turn your volume down.
Or flip the
It was
mute switch. It's that Samsung.
I just hold the bottom button. And it goes all the way down.
It's amazing how that works. So what were you saying?
No, I was saying. Speaking
iPhone
of
makes it easy. They just have one button. You just
flip on the side.
And OnePlus.
No, I was saying. Speaking of stuff that's coming out, releasing. How about this new Von Erich movie or show coming out.
Can we not just say how Zac Efron looks amazing?
Well, let's talk about the newest thing we just found out, which MJF will be Lance Von Erich.
Crazy.
Gonna be good.
By the way,
Efron looked good. He looked like he skipped leg day a few times, but
Yeah, a couple times.
that one picture that was released today was him doing a drop kick.
Them calves from knee down. He's he ain't done no calf raises or yeah, he's been roided.
Well, much like somebody else I know in the business, but that's
Which business?
neither here. Well, both. Neither here.
he was talking about The Rock, but The Rock's The Rock's clean.
No, that is going to be something I will take to the grave. People, I think Jonathan thinks I take offense to people if they do steroids. I don't care.
So,
But
this is something
I don't think The Rock has never not done steroids. I just don't think he's currently doing steroids. And I see your eye twitching over there.
yeah,
So what? There's some type of supplements now, and I only say this because there's a couple of different bodybuilders that I pay attention to, and there's one that they constantly use. They say, "Hey, are you clean?" They say yes or no, and I say yeah. And they, oh, you are. He's like, yeah, I'm on blah blah blah. He's like, oh, okay. So
it's a legal loophole.
Yeah,
What it is.
It's not steroids. It's like growth hormone.
Okay.
Like deer velvet.
All right. So again, I don't care
The
what.
Rock got his powers from the wizard.
Listen, I don't care. I don't care what sport. I don't care what your profession. I don't care what you do. If what you're doing is illegal or legal and it's working for you and it's helping you achieve a certain look to help you get certain places, I don't care. As long as you're being healthy about it and being responsible with it, I don't care. I don't. You don't think there's people that come through the doors of PCW that are on them? Come on. I mean, I'm not foolish.
I've never seen one. Well, I've seen one.
You'd be surprised. But
I never said you had a problem with it. That's not my argument at all.
Well, Jonathan takes it to the grave. Just for kicks and giggles, one day I made a post that said, "Hey, I got guy A that says Dwayne The Rock Johnson is not on steroids. I got guy B that says he is on steroids, or on some sort of help."
No, hold on. That's no, because I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's not taking stuff. It's just not steroids.
Semantics.
You like to pull that card a lot.
I don't pull semantics, sir. When's the last time I pulled semantics?
Last week.
Well, I'm doing better. But I don't know. Like The Rock is one of my favorite actors, one of my favorite people on earth. I love everything he's doing. But no, never. I would never think he's clean. But speaking of steroids, how about the Baseball Hall of Fame that we read?
I told you that yesterday.
Elaborate on that, Jonathan. This has got me excited. If you're a baseball fan, if you're a sports fan, and you pay attention to the steroid era of baseball, this should have you pretty excited.
Yeah, so we all know that Bonds and a few others recently last year missed out on the Hall of Fame, and that was kind of supposed to be the end. They weren't going to have a shot, but it came out yesterday that Bonds and Clemens are on the contemporary ballot, which is a panel of 16 people. I don't know, what role they play as far as how they get on the panel, but if they get a 75% vote, so 12 out of 16, they actually get a shot at the Hall of Fame. And so there's 8 people on the contemporary ballot, and it's consists of Barry Bonds, Clemens, Curt Schilling, Albert Bale, Don Mattingly, Fred McGriff, Dale Murphy, and Rafael Palmeiro.
Which I think is fun. I'm excited, man. So, was there McGuire or Sosa or anybody?
Sosa was left off. It didn't mention McGuire, but they specifically mentioned that Sosa was left off. So I don't know. When did Sosa retire?
So his big year was
early
90.
2000s.
His big year was 98.
03.
Yeah, might have been a little longer than that.
So I think the contemporary ballot, you have to be retired for like 15 years. Or there's a
It's getting close.
a cutoff. I mean, there's a limit, to when you can actually show up. So I don't know if Sosa was eligible yet.
And here's the things with steroids in baseball, man. So, like, again, I think more people have used steroids than people realize, right? Do I believe certain people were caught? Yes. But again, I don't care what kind of steroids you do, how much steroids you do, when you do it, your schedule that you do it. It's not a replacement for talent. It's not. It doesn't help you hit a ball any better because you still have to make contact with that ball. And Clemens, like Roger Clemens is my favorite player of all time. He's my favorite pitcher of all time too. I don't think that helped him pitch any better because steroids aren't human growth. He was HGH, so that didn't help. That doesn't help his pitching location. That didn't help him get old Mr. Splitty, which is a split finger fastball. It didn't help. I'm not saying I'm an advocate for steroids, man, but I am not an advocate for banning these people from where they deserve to be.
Well, I don't like the ban because it's not just the Hall of Fame. It's like the MLB in general. I mean, you don't find. I mean, you can customize a jersey, I guess, but you don't find like jerseys being sold. I mean, you go back and play like the MLB The Show. I mean, there's so many like notable baseball names that they don't include in the game for multiple reasons. I mean, it's just the MLB doesn't have a good relationship with these players. But I mean, it would be nice to be able to play as. I mean, you can create players, but it'd be nice to have Bonds and Sosa and McGuire. I mean, players that I grew up watching. They're absent from the game. So,
and I'm trying to think. Like another player I loved watching was the kid, Griffey Jr.
Best.
One
of the best.
Do I think he went through his entire 20-plus year career without using some sort of supplement? I don't believe it.
Who's that?
Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh.
The guy hit almost 700 home runs in his career, six something, right? I don't believe
He had a natural swing, though, man.
I was going to say, probably my second favorite player of all time. I mean, Chipper Jones was my first, just as a Braves fan. I mean, in the 90s.
I'm not saying Griffey wasn't good. I'm not saying he's not one of the best, but I'm saying it's hard to believe me. I'm just a fan. It's hard for me to believe that you went through a 20-year, 22-year span of a career. The most of it through the steroid era without getting influenced by some way.
Well, you also got to remember, though, he had his dad, Ken Griffey Sr., kind of in his pedigree to be a good Major League Baseball player.
Like another one of my favorite players, like I think he's very underrated. You'd probably like him because I think he played in Atlanta for a little bit. Gary Sheffield. Mm-hmm. Gary Sheffield.
Oh, he took the shot.
Okay. Jesus.
He's sauced.
But you ever see that man swing? That man was swinging like 130 miles an hour for the fence every single time he swung a bat. So regardless if he's on steroids or not, if he was to make contact with any ball, he's swinging like that, it was going a long way. But I don't know. Steroids don't bother me. Just let these people that have the natural talent in the Hall of Fame.
So I get
and Pete Rose.
One of my issues with steroids is, especially in baseball. Because like you said, like with Bonds, I mean, you can't, steroids doesn't help you see the ball better. I mean, it might give you some more muscle and some more pop, but every year the MLB is changing the baseballs to make, one year they're traveling further, so they make them a little heavier, but so they're doing things to change the game little by little, year after year. So, I mean, like, who are you to want to penalize? I mean, I get it. It's banned, but I mean, if they're doing it and you're doing the same thing, I mean, it doesn't make it any better. I mean, they're trying to make the game more entertaining. Okay, well,
steroids do that.
I mean, to me, it's, this is another topic, but like the NFL, like I get the whole concussion CTE standpoint, but you can't tell me if I make I mean, especially nowadays or recently, like last couple years, if I choose to play football, knowing the risk and I get to the professional level, like, who am I to, like, when I retire, be like, oh, well, they should have taken better care of me. Like, you knew the risk going into football.
Oh,
You're
no,
making
I completely agree with
$20
that.
million, $30 million a year. Okay, well, I mean, that was your decision. Nobody's making you play professional football. Like, you chose to do that. You knew the risk. Do other things come with that? Maybe.
No,
But you got to go into it knowing you're choosing, okay, well, do I care about my health or do I care about my paycheck?
Well, I think it's twofold. It's one of those things that I feel like a good group of these guys in professional football, at least, who have been on the side of they should have taken care of me better. I wish they had educated me more on what I was blah, blah, blah. A lot of them are broke now, unfortunately. But it's one of those things that, hey, maybe you should have managed your money better. And who knows, maybe the CTE is the reason that they couldn't. I mean, I don't know.
Nobody will ever know.
But mismanagement can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of, man, you're that Sunday night football game, I know it didn't turn out the way you wanted it. Good game though.
So I got a lot to say about that game.
Well, yes.
I've kind of talked to Shane about it. So I, as a big Titans fan, it was probably one of the first Titan games all season that I've actually been able to sit down and enjoy. And I knew, I mean, we went up, 17-9. It was 17-9 for forever, but I mean, Titans couldn't do nothing on offense. And it didn't even, like, the play calls, I wasn't really, it felt like they were trying to run out the clock. Like, they weren't trying to be aggressive. And I was like, okay,
They were playing
like,
not to lose instead of playing to win.
I was like, last week, Malik Willis first start, you're playing the Texans. Okay, it's the Texans. Like, you can afford to, like, play to not lose. But this is the Chiefs. Like, you only get so many shots to stop Patrick Mahomes. Defense played amazing the whole game. But the offense, they just weren't, it didn't look like they were trying to score. It was just like, hey, let's just try to get out of here. Let's just try to run the clock out. And eventually, so even though we were up and the defense was playing amazing, there was never a time throughout the whole game where I felt, oh, we're going to walk out of, like, I just knew, I was like, we're going to lose. I mean, we're like, they're just going to waste the game away. Like, they're playing so well, and they're just not going to close it. And then sure enough, Mahomes goes down, scores a touchdown. They get like 3 tries for the 2-point conversion. They convert it, tie the game. They go into overtime. We stop Mahomes. We get the ball back. Nothing. Mahomes gets it and then, drives right down. So, I think as disappointed as I was that we lost, I think they deserved to lose.
Yeah.
We need receiver help bad. We have
tight end's pretty good.
Burks is hurt. He's on IR. He's actually eligible to come back this week, so that might give us some help. But he's a rookie. It ain't gonna be. The receivers couldn't get open. I'm a huge AJ Brown fan. Even going to Philadelphia. I love him as a player, and he was tweeting like, "Can't no receivers get open?" And with a bunch of laugh faces because they traded him because they didn't want to pay him, and we don't have no receivers.
No, I saw something today with AJ Brown where teammates were picking on him because he got walked down.
Oh yeah, because he got caught.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I said,
He's faster than you.
I know I'm faster than you now.
How'd you make out in fantasy this week?
Let's not talk about that.
No, I want to talk about it. I can brag about it in my league.
I know you can, and I'm 0 for 4.
Oh,
And, yeah. Going into Monday night, I should have won 2, but I had
0 for 4. Not even one win.
Nope. So one league, I lost by 3 points, and
that's a heartbreaker.
he had Baltimore's defense, and I had an individual Baltimore player, and I was up going into Monday night, and of course the defense, for the most part, held New Orleans to basically nothing. And then the other league, I thought for sure I had it in the bag. I mean, I was up by like 20-something points. I had Kamara and Duvernay play in against Kenyon Drake. But Kamara got 8 points. Duvernay got 1.
Took a dump on you.
And then Drake got 26. So I ended up losing by 4 points. Yeah, I was up by like 20-something. So I thought I had it in the bag, but win some, you lose.
Well, let's talk about my fantasy league. All right, so I knew.
You're welcome.
Yes, I will say I had to seek professional help
From the 6-time fantasy football champion.
from the six times.
After the season, it'll probably still be 6 times, but yeah.
But I knew I needed some help in the running back field because I had Najee Harris, a couple other bums, and I knew I needed some running back help. So I knew I had the number 1 quarterback in the league, and I have what's probably realistically the number 1 wide receiver.
Jamar Chase.
Thank you.
Christian McCaffrey. Oh,
No. Jamar Chase. So I was like, I'm going to seek out one of the worst teams in my league. And I'm going to make this person a trade offer. I traded him Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, and Najee Harris for Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, and Dak Prescott. All right. So, and then I picked up Geno Smith. I picked up Geno Smith in free agency. And then I picked up a kicker in free agency, Nick Folk. All right. So Geno Smith went off, 23 points scored in my league. Joe Mixon had probably the game of the year. Yeah.
Best running back game of the year so far.
5 total touchdowns by 1 player in the game. This looks like a planned trade. This guy is probably that I traded with is probably like, what kind of insider information does this guy have? So Joe Mixon went off, 55 points, only projected to score 16. Dalvin Cook had 13. And my kicker, Nick Folk, projected to do 8, did 17 by himself. So I scored 186 at a projection of 127. So I think, thank you, Joe Mixon. Thank you, Josh Allen.
thank you. Thank you, Chuck Norris. Thank you, Peter.
There's one more person you got to thank.
Handbook, Jonathan Winburn, the 6th time.
I didn't have anything to do with the kicker. That was all you. But
thanks.
the other trade, I definitely helped facilitate that one.
Well, because I'm like, I almost wanted to accept the trade or propose the trade blindfolded, because it's like, oh God, if I offer this,
He was so distraught about trading Josh Allen.
Oh, well, rightfully so. It's my number 1 quarterback. My quarterback. It's my quarterback. Thanks, T.O.
Best linebacker of all time. Joe Montana was a quarterback, you idiot. I said Joe Montana.
All right. So yeah, that's my fantasy week. So I'm gonna get blown out this week, but that's all right. That 1 week, man. That 1 week looked good. Ellie, we can get you in fantasy next year. I think you'd actually really like it.
Nah, man, I don't pay enough attention to stats and stuff. I don't like it.
Well, neither do I until I'm in a league.
Yeah.
So once you get in the league,
It's all about having fun, though.
spending time with your best friends.
It gives us it gives you another avenue. Shane's one to talk. I tried to get him in my league all off season. He didn't do it. So
And then all of a sudden I come into work like the next day. Hey man, I'm in this fantasy league, and Jonathan's just like,
to me, it's just another avenue to talk junk. I mean, like as much as I enjoy it,
I'm a peacekeeper, Jonathan. I'm a peacemaker and a peacekeeper. When do I talk junk to either of you?
Well, it's because you're not involved in things we're involved in. Maybe you should get involved in fantasy, then you would talk junk. You talk junk a lot.
I don't.
You do.
No.
Especially about movies, you do.
No, I mean, when you're wrong, you're wrong.
See, there you have it. You're so combative.
No, I mean, I don't fault people for their opinion.
Christmas tree cakes?
No, I mean, I just don't like them.
I
just think they're gross.
So I brought one last week. You didn't eat it, and I went to the store before I came here.
Somebody else jumped on that real quick.
And I thought about buying you a chocolate one just to see.
Oh,
if
he
you
would
eat
try
that
it.
one.
I tried that one.
You would try it. It's chocolate.
Chocolate.
All right, I'll bring.
I said, "Why you doing all that chocolate on your face, mother?"
I'll bring it next week.
I was like, chocolate. Oh, that's doo-doo, baby.
A chocolate.
I was like,
Is
ugh.
that Friday?
Dave Chappelle stand
Oh,
up.
well, it's close.
Hey, crackhead.
A chocolate Christmas tree cake sounds interesting. Chocolate filling?
Both chocolate filling and chocolate covered.
It's orgasmic. That sounds really good.
But to me, fantasy, like, it is just another avenue just to have fun. I mean, so I actually did fantasy baseball like 2 years ago out of nowhere just because somebody asked me to. And it caused me to watch baseball or follow baseball a lot more than I had been before.
We're not getting Elliot to do that
But
one.
it was just, I wouldn't try to. That one is like an everyday thing. Football, you can kind of pace it out a little bit if you're in the right league. But I think it's.
Is there college football fantasy?
I mean,
Somebody-
you can make it. I mean, you can have it like that.
That'd be tough.
But to me, so I had growing up, being from the Carolinas, I had always been a diehard Gamecock fan. They weren't necessarily the greatest, but I always preferred college football over pro football. Always. I mean, I'd rather watch football on Saturdays than watch football on Sunday. And then, like 12 years ago, I did fantasy football for the first time. Was awful. But I realized very quickly. So around here, I'm not a Panthers fan, and the Panthers come on TV every week because they're the local team, so they have priority. And I realized very quickly that between me or my opponent, whoever I was playing that week, there was usually always the games that were on TV always involved a player I had on my team, or B, my opponent had. So it gave me a reason to watch, an extra reason to watch any game that was on TV. I was more invested, and from that, I just loved it. So a lot of times I try to get my favorite players or players that I enjoy watching on TV because it just makes me that more interested in to watch them. But maybe we'll get you on board.
I think we will.
Maybe not.
I think we can get Elliot on pro football. A pro football fantasy league. I don't think we're going to get him on baseball. I don't think I would do baseball. It sounds too tedious.
It is
meticulous.
a legit everyday thing. I mean, you have to. I mean, not from
Ain't got time for
necessarily
that.
picking up players, but
Ain't nobody got
because
time for that.
players play every day. Like you have, if a player plays on Monday and then they're off on Tuesday, and you have a backup shortstop, and then you need depending on if you want to play them or not, you need to. I mean, you have to adjust your lineup every day. So I mean, but
Sounds too
I
much
actually
like the real
enjoy.
thing.
I'm a more of a football fan than a baseball fan, but I think I might actually enjoy fantasy baseball more because it's more involved. But I've also done good since I've been doing baseball. I haven't won it yet, but I finished third last year, top 3. So I got paid.
There was 4.
A little bit. No, that was 10. I finished top 3. But the guy I had 3 goals, finish first, finish in top 3, because that was, if you finish third, you got your money back. And then
You ain't first, you're last.
And then
I was high when I said that, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, Ricky, I was high.
No, you can run second, third, fourth. You can play.
Hell, you could be 5th.
I also wanted to beat the guy that invited me to the league. So
Did
I
you beat
finished
him?
third, and he finished 4th. So I beat him. And then this year, so he invited me. So that one was a like small amount buy-in. It wasn't much. He invited me to do a big money league too. So I was in 2 leagues this year. The short money league, he finished first, but I finished second. So it was an improvement from last year because I finished third. The other league, I finished 5 out of 12, but they do a special thing. So September to October, whoever gains the most points wins a good chunk of money, because they try to keep people from just quitting before the end of the year. And I actually gained the most points. So I actually made money in that league, even though I finished in 5th. So yeah,
Heck yeah.
it was a win.
Ricky, Talladega Nights has, I think Will Ferrell's movies in general
I love
are filled with, they're not that good.
one-liners.
They're not that good. They're not that good of a movie, right? But
Boats and hose.
see, they're just filled with a bunch of, not even necessarily one-liners, but memorable lines where like every single movie, like I just watched Land of the Lost again the other day, and that movie's freaking hilarious. And Step Brothers is another one. I mean,
I
like,
love Step Brothers.
so that's one of my favorite movies. So like one line in the movie that kills me every time is the part where John C. Reilly's in the crypt in the ground, and he's and Will Ferrell's throwing the dirt on him, shoveling the dirt on him. He goes, "What are you doing? Burying you." Like, just the way he said it, just like nonchalantly, just burying you. Just, I don't want to be buried alive. Just like that whole, I don't know. I think
Did witches become best friends? Yep.
I think Will Ferrell's a comedic genius. He knows his niche and he's funny. The way he delivers his lines are hilarious.
You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
I'll say one of my favorite movies comedy movies has Will Ferrell in it. He doesn't star. He just has a minor part. But Wedding Crashers.
Oh yes, Mom the Meatloaf.
We watch it every year at Christmas. We watch it every time.
They're actually supposed to be doing a second one.
Jess's family watches it every year at Christmas. It's like a Christmas tradition. Most people watch
I don't
National
Lampoon Christmas movie.
Right. Well, yeah.
Christmas Vacation.
Die Hard maybe.
Yeah, but it's
Wedding
just,
Crashers no.
It's something about Wedding Crashers. I don't know what it is, but every year it's on, and we watch it. And I think I have to watch it again because I don't.
Jane Seymour. She's in it. You motorboat. You motorboat, son of a.
I just don't remember.
Team player.
Jane Seymour. Was she the one
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman,
played the teacher in the Sean William Scott movie? She wasn't a teacher. Sean William Scott goes to he's a leader. He's a leader of the little kids.
Not grown-ups.
No.
Not mentors.
Role models.
Role models, yeah.
With him and Paul Rudd. That's Jane Seymour, right? She comes out the TV. You know what I'm talking about. She got blonde hair. She's kind of. I always thought.
I don't know if she's the one that's in there.
I always thought she's on crack, cocaine.
Jane Seymour was
Jane Lynch.
I'm sorry.
They don't look anything like.
I just knew the name Jane.
Jane Seymour's Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
I don't know who that is, but Jane Lynch is hilarious to me too. But that movie's funny if you've never seen Role Models.
Well, Bobby J was in that.
Bobby J.
Short little
little black kid?
Yeah. Well, he's grown now. He's
hilarious.
Oh yeah.
He was very, very.
Well, I think then he was a teenager.
He looked like he was 7.
Yeah.
Oh, has he got a growth?
In real life, he's only like 5'1", 5'2".
Ah, I didn't know that. He looked like a little kid.
So Jane Seymour played in a 1979 movie called Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Debbie Does Dallas.
Never saw that, but I heard a lot about it.
She is going undercover and ready to expose everything.
Is it a porn?
I don't think so.
That's expose. It's expose.
Parody porn? Like China is She-Hulk?
Wow.
Or
it's got a 4.5 on IMDb. You're out.
That popped me.
Watch Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's funny.
Before we get too off topic, we were talking about football, but
now we're talking about porn.
The guy to my right has given two of us a lot of grief over the last couple of weeks about some Gamecocks, but I just
we got beat.
Talk about Clemson,
Yeah, but let's not go overboard here. I know it's a fun thing to make fun of each other when we lose, but we lose more often than they do. So let's not throw any daggers at the Clemson.
I mean, I didn't say we were any better than Clemson.
No, but you're getting ready to launch a bazooka. I can sense it across the table.
I know. I'm just saying we talk about Carolina when they lose. We got to talk about Clemson when they lose too.
Okay.
Yeah, they
bypass it.
They lost.
Let's be nice.
Notre Dame is one of the colleges that tends to send the most, or one of the top colleges sends the most offensive linemen, and it showed that night that they have an offensive line that is just a bunch of men.
I'm interested to know what Clemson.
Slapping meat.
You about to say beating the meat? Is that what you about to say?
No, I'm interested to see what's Clemson do as a Clemson fan. What do they do at the quarterback spot? Because I'm very interested here. Because you saw what they did with DJ, and they what they did, and they Cade, and they put him back in. So what are they doing here?
I mean, there's a couple things I think. One,
you're Dabo Swinney. What are you doing?
Well, I think you have to look and see. You have to make the decision. You just got to make a decision. Are you going to stick with DJ and continue to work the 2 quarterback system, or are you going to say, "Hey, DJ, man, sorry, your time's up. We got to go with Cade going forward." I mean, because Cade, people's like, oh, put Cade Klubnik again. Listen, he got put in. He ain't did nothing. He's a little bit more mobile. He didn't do anything. He threw one of the passes, one pass he threw. I think he threw one pass. It was a pick.
Only threw one.
So Clemson is
Interception?
one loss, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're at the point now where they cannot lose again. I don't think they can't lose.
They're still in the ACC.
Not to get to the playoffs. No.
They're still in the ACC championship.
Sure,
They've got Louisville, Miami, and USC. Right.
Okay.
USC, not US of C.
Thank
mean
the
U of
Lord.
U of
Thank
SC.
you. Thank you.
U of SC. Is what it was.
That's what I meant.
What it was.
Yeah.
Right. We live in the
They
present.
changed it back to USC.
Thank
But Southern Cal is SC. I mean, everyone knows that.
Mm-mm.
I just like giving people grief about it. When they did that, I was like,
I've always
it was
referred to
stupid.
Southern Cal as USC. I've always referred to them. I refer to both as USC.
yeah, but I'm saying, like, when the University of South Carolina decided to go with that, whether it was because they were made by law or not, it was just dumb.
Yeah.
To me, Southern Cal
The
has
woke
always
left.
been just SC. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
always like, I've never seen any logo for Southern Cal that was USC. It was always
Or
SC.
SCU.
Oh, I missed them.
SoCal.
But I mean, anytime they reference them though, they're always USC. They're always USC. Even in like the college football games, they were USC. But it's not a big deal. Like when I came here to like South Carolina, was always referred to as USC. I think it's kind of petty. It's a petty argument. It's dumb.
Our defensive line got manhandled. You know, our secondary did pretty good, but it's not like Notre Dame had to throw
So we're
200-something yards
where are you
rushing.
ranked now? 6?
No,
No.
12.
That okay. No. All right.
If
so,
TCU loses, they'll fall behind.
so college football playoffs out. I was thinking
No,
that.
well,
I
not
wouldn't-
necessarily.
I don't think they're out yet. I mean, if they win out,
Because
depending on what happens with
Michigan,
everybody else.
Michigan and Ohio State will face each other.
True.
Georgia still has to face LSU.
Also true.
Number 4 right now is TCU. If TCU loses,
Maybe it can happen there.
If TCU loses, they're out.
If Clemson loses again, I think they're out.
If
But
Clemson
I don't-
loses
they're
again,
not,
they're out.
they're not out yet.
It's one of those things that
A lot would have to happen. A lot of dominoes have to fall.
Come on, Gamecocks.
so if Clemson wins out and they win
Decisively.
decisively, go into the ACC championship, win decisively, I think then, it's one of those things that they'll at least have the college football playoff looking at them again. So like, you know what? Yeah, they messed up, but they've really turned it up.
I think this is the year, like say Clemson was in the top 4, as they've been previously, where I was like, they have a chance to win this thing. Like, I wouldn't be so confident in Clemson's team being able to win it all this year.
No, and no Clemson fan is.
Mm.
No Clemson fan's confident that because we don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, not a shot at Clemson as much as I've been trying to take one.
He's
but
trying. I'm
I'm
the peacemaker over here.
I'm being dead serious. So we had this whole conversation on the last couple of episodes about Cooper Rush and Shane being like, just ride with the team they're winning,
Mhm.
Whatever it may be. And then I mentioned I didn't see anything special. So as a Titans fan, right now Malik's not the answer. I mean, he looked okay last week. I mean, he threw like 6 passes last. He was like 3 for 6. But I mean, they're not even giving him a chance to throw, whether that be the receivers or not. But I can admit as a fan that right now he's not the answer. I mean, we need Tannehill back. As just a college football fan watching Clemson, I don't think DJ's the answer at all
No,
by any means.
but
I also don't know if Rattler's the answer for Carolina. And as much as I've been behind Rattler and be like, hey, you got to give him a chance. Like, the offensive line's trash. Play call's not in his favor. I mean, he's also made some plays where I haven't,
I was excited for the Gamecocks when Rattler was coming because I thought, hey, maybe at least he can add a spark. But I
Which
think
he has done.
he's done.
Gotten the fans hot.
But what you see is that the dude cannot read a defense.
He's getting exposed, bro.
He can't. Maybe that's like Savell said, where the offense is just too complicated. Or maybe it's the defensive schemes. Multiple players, like we discussed a couple weeks ago, have come to bat for their current OC and said, hey, no, it's not his play calling, it's our execution. There's a difference. I think Clemson's defense got exposed the other night because it showed that we have a defense coordinator in his first year ever as a defense coordinator. Brent Venables, I think, would have been able to make some type of change on the fly where, and all the post-game press conference and stuff you listen to, all the coaches were confident. I said, listen, we haven't had practices like this in a while. Everyone felt prepared. Everyone felt confident, and we showed up. You have a block punt where someone literally rushes straight up the middle and blocks it. Several turnovers. A pick six on. Why you try and go back shoulder come back there? Whenever the guy has 25 yards between him and the end zone and nobody in front of him or behind him, I should say. Just wrong reads. But at the same time, you saw DJ come in the fourth quarter. 2 of the 3 possessions, they drove the ball right down the field and scored a touchdown. So I think DJ's still your guy because he could move the ball.
Definitely showed more. I mean, I would take him over Cade for sure.
And maybe it was just one of those things that DJ had to get, kicked in the rear or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer. But I think you still have to stick with DJ. I think you stick with him throughout the rest of the year.
I mean, the position Clemson's in, still being in the college playoffs, I get it, sticking with DJ. I mean, but there's last thing you want to do is put in somebody else and then drop even further or not play as good. But I'm just watching DJ. I just don't feel like he's the answer.
He's not. But
and that's not a shot at Clemson. That's just that's just me as a football fan. Like when I watch him, there's not. I just don't see it.
Clemson fans and non-Clemson fans, when it comes to Clemson quarterbacks right now, have to remember our two out of our 3 last quarterbacks were generational talents. And Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson. People felt DJ was going to be kind of a mixture, but he's shown that he's got glimmers of a lot of shine, but he's just consistency. He just can't get it.
Well, maybe DJ will get his happy ending like Deshaun.
There's the shot, folks.
And he'll be right back in on the football field before you know it. So,
see,
sorry, I had to.
You couldn't just wait. You just
and that's not a Clemson football thing. That's a Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah, that's not against Clemson. That was
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is looking better since he's got a decent coach helping him out. Doug Peterson,
former Eagles coach.
EAGLES Eagles Super Bowl champion coach.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go. All right, whatever. I thought he was gonna say. No, never mind. What?
Good.
What were you gonna say? Mine was of no importance. I hear the Eagles and I start.
Mine wasn't either.
I start getting mad.
Well, before we continue, can't continue without thanking our sponsors. Sponsorship allows us to kind of do what we do, ish. New blend coming out, holiday blend by Day So Coffee Lab.
I saw that. I'm very intrigued.
Yep.
Are you gonna get it?
Oh, you already know.
You already bought it, didn't you?
No, I haven't. I haven't bought it yet.
Are you getting it shipped to your door?
Yeah,
because they ship to your door.
Always get it shipped straight to my door. DaySoCoffeeLab.ca. You can go to the website. Subscribe monthly. I don't subscribe monthly, mainly because I don't have it down to how much coffee I actually use in a month.
So how much does that last you? Like, how much the bag lasts you?
Well, let's see.
Are you drinking coffee every day?
I drink a pot every day.
A pot?
Pot of coffee every day.
Whew. On top of
I say every day, almost every day.
On top of your loaded teas from Revolution Nutrition.
Well, no, see, I don't drink many of the loaded teas from Revolution Nutrition. Both of them, though, if you go to Revolution Nutrition in person in Camden, or if you go to DaySoCoffeeLab.co, you can use the promo code LOWDOWN. Dayso Coffee Lab, you get 20% off your order.
Where-
Revolution Nutrition, huh?
Where's Dayso based out of?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Is that the
Birmingham,
is that-
Alabama.
no, that's not 256. That's Huntsville.
That is Huntsville.
And Revolution, 10% off your drink order,
10%
which
off
makes
your
it less than $10.
Oh yeah,
It's hard to find. It's hard to find stuff.
Less than $8.
$7, I think.
$7.92.
It's hard to find stuff less than $10 nowadays.
Yeah, the voters are letting you know that.
Oh, anywho,
Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, well, we won't talk about politics because that's not what we're going to do. Because we're an unaffiliated show.
well, I don't know about that.
We are unaffiliated. We don't pick sides.
I have a councilman wanting to come on the show.
Russell
Brazel, yeah,
What?
yeah,
What's he going to talk about?
whatever.
Oh, is he a wrestling fan?
I don't know. He's at. We've talked about maybe him coming on the show sometime.
I like Russell.
He's a good guy.
But speaking of wrestling,
Yeah.
what's going on in the wrestling world?
Apparently, Nick Aldis has caused a big kerfuffle with the NWA and Billy Corgan.
Yeah, so I read rumors that he was done,
Done.
and then he
Son.
said something, and then they suspended him. Right? Is that kind of it in a niche?
So basically, my understanding is he had Nick Aldis had given his said, "Hey, I'm not going to resign," type of thing. I'm not going to resign. And they were cool with that. Like, no problem. You finish your contract out, and then you only have a 60-day window. You know what I mean? So he then goes on Instagram or Twitter or something, posts a video, but then deletes it. But Billy Corgan caught wind of it, and he was completely trashing the NWA management and locker room and everything. Which, side note, completely did not realize this was the same Billy Corgan that was the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. Completely didn't realize that.
And good friend of CM Punk.
Good friend of CM Punk,
What?
who, by the way, has said that CM Punk has mentioned nothing about leaving AEW with
It's all
him.
going to get worked out.
CM Punk's done. All right. Can we just get off the CM Punk?
I don't know. I mean, Billy Corgan says otherwise.
Let's get off the CM Punk penis riding train.
So
Nobody
you
was
made,
riding
you
him.
mid the Tony Khan
I love
motion
CM Punk.
just a minute ago, which was about the same time the Jaguars started winning.
What's his name? What'd you say his name was?
Doug Peterson.
No.
Oh,
What Tony Khan motion are you talking
Billy
about,
Corgan.
sir? Let me drink some of my water. I don't know.
So disturbing.
So
but,
disturbing how good you are at that.
but Nick Aldis has completely been removed from any upcoming shows, even the pay-per-view coming up.
Isn't it weird? No, we were just talking about Nick Aldis on one of our shows recently. He came up. It's like
Last week or the week before?
yeah, it's so weird. Like, dude, this former Magnus in TNA looks like $1 million, married to Mickie James. This guy is WWE bound. Calling it right now. That is my prediction.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way too.
He looks the part. He is a champion. Can talk, can work. He's a prick, but that's okay. I think he's what WWE's wanting. Could he be a guy that beats Roman Reigns?
No.
No.
Get the
No.
F out of here.
No.
It's been done.
Stop.
No.
Oh,
Absolutely not.
I disagree.
You don't believe that.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I
That's the Maker's Mark talking. You do not believe.
Is that the Maker's Mark or the Tito's?
Yes.
No. Absolutely.
Maybe the Tito's.
Absolutely, Nick Aldis, if he's signed by WWE, should be the one to beat Roman Reigns.
No.
No way.
Sorry, guys.
So, first of all, Aldis
Stop.
isn't going to come in until at least January. They're not going to have him just show up and beat Roman.
I don't.
Absolutely not.
They need to put him in a program, and
They'll put him in the.
If he comes in and beats Roman before Cody even gets a shot, Cody should just walk out the door.
Well, I don't
Right
think
out.
Cody's getting a shot.
Right out.
What if Cody?
Nick Aldis,
Hold on.
6'4", 245 pounds. Get out of here. He's bigger than Roman. He's more believable than Roman.
What if anyways,
What?
I saw him work on Impact like a few months ago for their Slammiversary pay-per-view, and I was like,
Okay, but
Roman's the needle mover,
God mode.
needle dick.
head of the table.
Needle dick. That's what he.
Well, I'm gonna have to mark this one for
Guys,
E for explicit.
But if you look, well, that's every episode from here on out. Or
Sorry,
couple
guys.
episodes back.
That's me.
No, but like think about it. If somebody beats Roman Reigns, it's got to be somebody that's. Are you muting me?
No. I was muting me because I was chewing my eyes.
Oh, I was like, he just muted me while I was talking. No, but like I thoroughly believe that somebody that beats Roman Reigns needs to be somebody that's as big as or bigger than Roman. It's got to be somebody. It can't be somebody smaller. I don't like this.
And it's not Nick Aldis.
He's bigger.
Size-wise?
Yeah.
Well, that's just stupid. If that's the case, you might as well up Braun.
That's some Vince McMahon thinking right there.
Or have
Omos.
please. No, God.
No, God!
Exactly.
Very good spot-on impression.
Thank you. Yeah. I maybe have Brock Lesnar beat Roman. Right, Jonathan?
So we joked. I thought for sure when they announced this Seth Rollins match that Brock was going to come out this open challenge and just completely demolish
Destroy him.
and be like, I was the reason that you even won the title to begin with.
That would have been hilarious.
It would have been hilarious, but I find it even more hilarious that
I know where you're going with
that
this.
Theory cashed in on the U.S. title that he's already won before, and then
He's the youngest person to ever win Money in the Bank,
And-
youngest person to ever win the United States Championship, and the youngest person to cash in for a title unsuccessfully.
Poor guy.
and
Vince
I
is
don't-
at home.
And I was gonna say, I don't even. I think that it could end up turning out in his favor, but if there's ever a shot that Triple H was taking at Vince, it's definitely through Theory.
Oh, he's
Because
getting
Theory has
squashed.
not done anything positive on any of the shows. He's not won a match, very many. He's completely getting buried.
Well, speaking of recent matches, though, I mean, you had Crown Jewel this past weekend.
Yeah.
Which you were saying you were thoroughly impressed with.
Well, I've watched a couple of different matches. I haven't been able to watch the whole thing, but I know Jonathan said he did watch the whole thing.
I came away impressed. I mean, there's still some things I don't completely agree with. I mean, it started off so Brock versus Lashley,
Which
it was
I
not
thought was-
how I went, and not how I thought it was going to go as a match. I like that they built Bobby up, and Bobby pretty much dominated the whole match, but the ending didn't do it for me. It felt like another way just to protect Brock. I mean, like a cheap way out. I mean, Lashley had him in the hurt lock. Lesnar, kicked the turnbuckle and landed on top of Lashley, and they counted 1, 2, 3. So I felt like that was just a cop out to kind of save face with Brock. So as much as I enjoyed the match and the way that they booked it, I hated the ending.
See, I like the ending, and the reason I like the ending because it leads to a third and final match with them. Because and at
Any extra match with Brock is too many.
oh no, man, I love watching.
I
them.
do.
I love watching them work. And I thought him and Bobby together was great. And how Bobby just showed pure dominance the entire match. Yeah, he loses, because the guy, in the hurt lock, falls on top of him. The ref counts, but at the end, Bobby beats him down. And they're both neither face nor heel. Well, Brock is face, but
Lashley beaten up afterwards definitely made him a heel.
well, I thought that too. But then, like, as he's walking out, he's high-fiving people as he's walking out and stuff.
Well, that's because people just are glad to see Brock get dominated.
I think Bobby can still remain face like he's been and keep going. So
I mean, I'd be okay with a third. I mean, I'm okay with a third match between the two. I don't know.
WrestleMania or Royal Rumble.
Brock will be in the title match at WrestleMania.
Just thinking of Brock at number 30. By the way, speaking of Royal Rumble, Triple H wanting to go to 40 again for the men's and women's Rumble.
Brock will lose to Lashley at the Royal Rumble and then get entered into number 30 again.
40.
40, whatever.
Whatever's the freshest.
50.
Well, let's talk about
Whatever the
41.
last
Well,
spot.
hey, not to mention Survivor
I'm making my own number.
37.
Jonathan hates
Bro,
when he
The match
hears,
will be the match will be over. It'll be 30. The match will be over.
41.
They'll declare a winner, and Brock will come out and be like, "Nope, forgot about me."
just watch it. It's that guitar. It's that guitar riff. It's that guitar riff that when Jonathan hears that guitar riff, he's like, "F this!" It just wants to.
The bad thing is, I don't dislike Brock as a worker. I hate the way he's booked. I get it. He's gigantic. He's like
He's legitimate.
Everything about him
legitimate.
screams. You got to put this guy over all the time
Until
but-
he screams.
until he talks. But
Hi guys.
when he comes in as part-time and he completely wrecks the locker room, I think it does more damage to the roster as a whole than it does as a one. I'm out.
See, he's already ready to leave. Just
I
hear that,
resign from the podcast.
that guitar riff, man. Like the thing is, when I hear that guitar riff, all I think of is Kevin Hart. It's about to go down.
I
know?
don't.
See, I disagree. I think Lesnar brings business. He brings money. I don't know. Legitimacy.
Blood money.
Legitimacy.
Oh, well.
Oh, there's nothing I'm out. Yeah. Saudi Arabia.
Well, yeah.
Country's about to get blown to smithereens. Let's go have a show there.
You also, we also saw the Bray Moth pop up on Alexa Bliss while she and Oscar were having their interview.
So
before their match.
I think it'd be funny if it was meant for Asuka the whole time.
I agree.
So I haven't watched. I missed it during the show, and I haven't gone back and watched it, so I haven't seen it. But you sent me a video of Alexa doing a thing, and there was nothing in that video.
It was a fan-edited video, folks. It's a fan-edited fun video.
I literally said the exact same thing. I said nothing there.
It was the
That's-
joke.
And he said, and I quote, "Oh, Jonathan saw it, and so did Banksy."
Well, I did not, because I
Banksy
didn't
saw
even
it.
respond because I was like, "Well, there's nothing in the video."
Well, if you go back, it's a fan-edited video.
I said there's
They put
nothing.
an eyeball in there.
There's no eyeball there.
Eyeball
is.
where?
There is.
He said, "Look at the top left corner." I watched top left corner multiple times. There's nothing there.
It's definitely an eyeball.
I even went and looked at the original.
No, the original is no.
There's nothing there.
It's the fan-edited
It is literally it is the light in the background.
one. No, sir.
That's all it is.
Definitely an eyeball.
That's one of those. It's one of those baits. No, did you see that?
I hate those
Let me
things.
watch it again.
I
What's
hate
happening?
You trick your mind into thinking something else is happening.
So I need to go back and watch the interview because maybe that'll clear things up. But they've already announced for Survivor Series, Asuka, Alexa, and Bianca, and two mystery opponents so far. They are two unannounced opponents versus Damage Control and Nikki Cross.
Oh, okay.
So I could easily see one of two things happening. I could see Sasha and Naomi returning to help Bianca's team out because there's two spots, and it just they've kind of, it's about time for them to come back if they're coming back.
So Damage Control has 4 people.
Damage Control and Nikki is 4 with one mystery, one unannounced opponent versus
It's gonna
Bianca.
be Charlotte.
So I could see Charlotte being the mystery opponent for Damage Control side, and then I could see Sasha and Naomi being the 2 people for Bianca's side. But
When's Becky due back?
I think she's out. for
Where's
a little while.
Charlotte?
Where are you?
Oh,
at?
we literally just said Charlotte would be. Where's Charlotte? We like little. I even go back and play it again.
No.
6.7 inch distraction.
I heard Sasha and Naomi.
Multiple times, and Charlotte was also brought up multiple times.
Oh man.
Ow, my nose. Okay.
But if they're going that route with Alexa, and that she's going to be part of the Bray Wyatt group, I could see, because there's some rumors and some mystery surrounding this mystery woman that they showed in this package, whether
Mika.
it be his sister or whatever. Not as maybe as a wrestler, but having her as the last opponent, like last person on Damage Control, her come out and have some kind of interaction with Bliss as a distraction or something. I don't know. I mean, I could see one of those two things happening. I don't know who else they have.
Or they had their full teams and she just shows up as a distraction.
That too. The only thing I don't like about Charlotte, Sasha, and Naomi all returning for the match is that's 3 big returns for one moment. I think they definitely got to space that out.
Yeah. No, I mean, I could get that.
I don't know. I saw a video of Sasha training with Juventud.
Yeah.
And looked amazing.
Yeah. She's getting ready for sure. What about, I'm assuming it's the Bloodline?
They're on the poster, so I'm assuming they're fighting somebody.
Or do you have the Bloodline versus somebody, and then you have Judgment Day versus somebody?
I don't know. I'm actually curious to see where I think you got to keep the belts. Just like I said, you got to keep the belt on Roman if the plan is to fight The Rock.
Any updates on Big E?
I think you got to
He
keep the
ain't
belt.
wrestling ever again.
I think you got to keep the belts on the Usos past Friday. I mean, they're in this mini build with the New Day that if they get beat by the New Day on Friday for the belts, then the New Day maintain the longest tag team reign of all time.
That's going to be broken.
But if Usos win, it'll go. They'll pass it, and I think you got to keep the belts on the Usos.
So you asked about Big E. Actually, well, my gut tells me that he doesn't wrestle again. That's just my gut. I mean, he said he's got nothing left to prove if it does force his retirement.
Yeah.
That's a quote from him. You look at, and I hate it, man, because Big E is one of my favorite big guys. I think he was hilarious in a serious role or a not serious role.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Corey Graves thing. Even though I think I read a report Corey can actually wrestle again, he's just choosing not to.
Yeah, he's too good on the commentary.
Dude, if you're making the money he's making, not having to risk your life when you do it too.
Yeah.
I mean, still being a part of the business.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
I'm just hoping Big E finds something, but I don't think he'll wrestle again. I think it's been, how long has it been?
Couple months.
Couple months, that's it?
Yeah. I mean, it's
been long.
Summertime.
Yeah, I mean, not
Summertime.
more than like 6 months at all. But if he, I'm a big Big E fan, so I hope he is able to come back if that's what he wants, and that's what his body allows. But I think even if he doesn't come back, he'll definitely have a spot on TV. They're going to utilize him in some way. He's too charismatic to not.
He's hilarious
to not be. Even if he just comes out, even if he's just the manager of New Day, he's got to be on TV at some point.
Could be a surprise Royal Rumble spot.
That'd be a big pop.
That'd be nice. People, the fans,
especially if it didn't get out beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see he could be backstage and it not get out that he's returning.
Exactly,
because he's just one of the boys, but so they could keep it. That would be a good pop. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I'm trying to see if I can read anything about his. So he was injured in March. So we're going on 8 months.
A little longer than I thought.
But it's still so quiet, so I don't know. Don't know what'll happen. My hope is that he's able to wrestle again. But when you start talking about the vertebrae in your neck and back, it's not something you really want to fool with.
Yeah, definitely not. But we've seen people come back and be successful still. Stone Cold broke his neck.
We were talking about the other night.
Speaking of it,
Yeah.
He's open to coming back and doing another match.
They said he had a
Or
blast.
more.
Said he had a blast after WrestleMania and that he was open for quote whatever.
Well, let's not forget too that Austin was also put in with what is no doubt one of the safest workers in professional wrestling, Kevin Owens, for a reason.
Which is funny because he does the apron power bomb all the time to people.
Yeah. There you have it.
Ouch.
So I have mixed feelings on Austin coming back. So obviously,
How old is he now? 55?
obviously as a something somewhere out there. Obviously as a draw, I mean, anytime you can get him on the show, it's good for business. I mean,
But is it what's best for business?
I love Brock, but
58 in a couple months. Next
but
month. If Sting can do it, I can do it.
and nobody's on Sting's level. What I don't like. So the same thing with Flair.
Final last match.
For the people in not, so I get Flair. You know, I mean that's all he's ever known as wrestling, wanting to continue to do it. And then if Austin thinks he can go, I mean,
Well, it's obviously you don't think he can.
You got to do what you want. I mean, it's your life. Whatever helps you. But you saw the interaction between Shawn and Flair in Flair's last match in WWE.
But did you see the reaction between him and Jeff Jarrett? We'll get back. We'll get to Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett's back.
But
Insert Tony Khan
to
water
me,
drinking.
it was like when Flair came back, it diminished the reaction between Shawn and Flair at the last match, and then with Austin coming back and having the match with KO, the build was so good. There with being in Texas, all that stuff. Like it, to me, if he comes back and does something else or wrestles another match, it makes I don't know. It just
Stone Cold should come back. Give me yeah.
What's crazy is like you say the build was so good, man. The build wasn't even that good to me. It was like
It was a week.
not good in the sense that
it was not so good. It was just like Austin came out Austin did that promo in Texas in his truck, and he came out of his truck
On a dirt road.
on a
In
dirt.
his Can-Am.
What?
Kevin Owens.
What?
You got a problem with me?
That's all it was. But it was so simple. It was so simple and effective.
It was Austin.
Kevin Owens.
I'm
White
going to
guy,
take this
black
truck and
son
skull
of
IPA.
You know,
Austin's plain for the most part.
it was
It was just always the
it was-
attitude against the boss.
it was simple.
Me
Here-
against the world,
I think
anti-hero.
the best part is that nobody expected it to be what it was. Everybody expected a confrontation or some sort. I'm gonna open a can of whoop, I'm
gonna stomp a mudhole in your tail and walk it dry.
exactly.
But that's the thing. So the match was better than expectations. But
It
now
sure
you
was.
have that
Now you got to live up to
front
it
of mind,
and then beat it.
right? I mean, now you have high expectations coming into. You didn't have any coming into the match, and it just succeeded. I mean, it was way better than it ever should have been. But now you know that. So if he comes back, it's like I expect it to be a good match, and if it's bad,
I say we get Austin and The Rock again.
if it's bad, like Taker Goldberg.
Nothing will ever be that bad. WWE will never allow that to happen again, ever. No way. That was
There's
horrible.
rumors Goldberg may head to AEW.
No, there's not. Is there really?
His contract up. Tony loves his WCW guys.
Bro, you're kidding me. Is this a legitimate story?
Yeah.
Or is this a Jonathan wish?
Gosh,
Tell me it's not true.
I haven't heard that.
It can't be. I'd be sick. I'd be absolutely sick.
It's the Condemned versus Black Adam at WrestleMania 45.
Oh my.
Goldberg versus Wardlow.
It's sad. I search Goldberg AEW, and the number one article that pops up is 5 WWE superstars who should end their career in AEW. I'm like, oh my God, Goldberg's number one. Oh, Ziggler, Balor, Shinsuke, AJ, Goldberg. Sick.
I really did read. I mean, when I say rumor, it wasn't like, oh, he's going to sign with AEW type rumor, but it was like
No, but
if
Tony
his
would do it.
contract's up, Tony
Goldberg
would
is all
definitely
elite.
be the one to be like, well, let's bring Goldberg. And then I can
Tony-
already see Goldberg versus Warlow because there's a lot of similarities in the way they're being booked.
Similarities are identical.
Wardlow.
I was like, well,
Gold.
The mannerisms, what Wardlow does.
Well, no. They would be called Warburg. The Warburgers. Then you have Marky Mark come in.
You see, it's stuff like this. It causes me migraines.
But speaking of Jeff Jarrett,
They would put them together. They would make them attack. They would definitely put them together.
Warburg. I mean, they've done it. War Joe. They've done it.
They called him War Joe?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
War
yes.
Joe. Where have you been?
I might have missed that episode or two.
It's been
6.7 inch distraction.
I'm not on my phone at all.
It's
Not right now,
It's
but
been,
where you
it's been that way for like the past 2 months.
I didn't even know they ever tag team together.
Yeah. Oh, that's because you don't watch Rampage.
That's true.
They come out
That
and
is true.
they come out and help each other all the time on Dynamite when there's a. Anywho,
Yep.
Well, you don't have any excuse to not watch it now.
I'm not watching Rampage.
I'm talking about Dynamite in general.
Dynamite tonight. I'm ready.
you have a new member of the AEW roster in
The worst.
JEFF JARRETT
Slap nuts.
Jeff Jarrett.
I'm excited for
when
that.
he used slap nuts the other night.
Popped.
I popped. Yeah.
I popped twice.
I'll choke on that slap nuts. I was like, oh, he said it.
Yeah, it was
What'd you say?
What was Jonathan? What was your reaction when you saw Jeff Jarrett show up on Dynamite?
My initial reaction was I was definitely shocked because I was
Good.
It wasn't I didn't expect it, so that was like I was like, it's Jeff Jarrett.
He was
And then-
pissed.
and then
He was
imme-
pissed
and then immediately went to pissed off.
because they had Sting's music and Jeff Jarrett came.
Maybe that made it worse, but
Who does this guy think he is?
maybe that made it worse. Maybe that was it.
He's like,
Maybe
yeah,
that was it.
Sting,
Oh,
Jeff
that set
Jarrett.
him up.
God!
It was
That's
definitely.
right.
I mean, it's definitely a heel move, but I've never been. So, don't get me wrong. Flair's last match, he did a great job of playing the heel and
It was awesome.
and making the crowd get behind Flair. But I have never, even before TNA, I've never been a fan of Jeff Jarrett. Like old WWE, WWF, WCW, like was never a fan of Jarrett. Even more so when TNA was a thing, because to me it's the same thing with Kenny. The same issue I have with Kenny and the Young Bucks. Like he was the owner
He
of the
booked
company.
himself over to go
He
over.
would book himself over, and now you got Kenny and Jarrett all in the same company, and it's just Tony Khan gift times 10.
I don't think he's gonna be used a ton as a.
He's a producer, isn't he?
Yeah,
That's
he's
what he
over,
signed on
he's
for?
over.
Over house shows,
and
like,
stuff.
live events, kind of thing.
Which I
mean,
heard
he's
that-
already buried Sting, so
He didn't bury Sting. He buried Darby.
True. Well, but he used Sting's music. That sets Jonathan off.
well,
Andy had the mask on,
hold on.
didn't he?
So no,
With the mask.
No.
other some random guy.
I don't know who that new kid is.
Some guy from Ring of Honor, I think. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He was in some group.
They said, "Oh my gosh, it's." I was like,
Here's what set me off about Jarrett using Sting's music.
Yeah, let's hear it. Go off.
So, for those of you that don't know, Sting is by far my favorite wrestler of all time. It's not even close. I'll watch any company just because Sting's there, but he hasn't been on TV for a week. So when the music hit, I thought for sure it was Sting. It made sense.
"Oh yeah, he's coming to clean house."
And then when it came out, it was such a disappointment, a shocking disappointment.
I just
but
wish
a
I was there.
disappointment that I was out. But it could have been anybody other than Jarrett, and I probably would have appreciated it more. I just really don't like Jeff Jarrett, and I don't mean like dislike. Like he's a great heel. I just don't like him. Like as a character, I don't like him.
I think Jeff Jarrett's knowledge is underrated and overlooked.
So
I think what he brings to the table to AEW is very, very good. Keep him off TV.
so that's my
That's my
that's
hope.
where I stand, because I do agree. I mean, his family's been in the business. He has a lot of knowledge, and to me, it's the same thing with Cody. And that might have been why they brought him in. It might have been one of those things where, like, I mean, we've talked on multiple podcasts about Cody being, like, how much did it affect AEW with Cody leaving. And I think Jarrett brings the same type of stuff. Like, he knows the business in and out. You know, he's been in it his whole life. His family's been in it his whole life. So I think from that standpoint, I agree. But what I don't want to see is him just come out and
Cole Carter.
have his way
Cole Carter, yeah.
on TV every week because he's Jeff Jarrett. And he's a company man.
No, I agree, but that's
Behind the
all.
scenes.
That's all in the hands. That's all in the hands of Tony Khan. I mean, is Tony Khan going to bring these people in and cater to them and do whatever they want to do, or is he going to bring them in and put them in positions where they're going to excel and thrive, and overshadowing the talent that built your company?
That segment, Bleacher Report said, an athletic contest saw Allen do what he typically does, fight back from underneath while showing considerable resiliency and guts along the way. Interference by fake Sting allowed Lethal to deliver his lethal injection finisher and score the win. Blah, blah, blah. Cue the revelation of the Faker as Cole Carter of the Factory, the return of the real Sting, and the All Elite Wrestling debut of Jeff Jarrett, who cut a scathing promo on the company and took credit for it and its success on behalf of his family. This was straight out of 2000 WCW/early TNA.
Well, the real Sting didn't come back.
Fake Sting, illogical surprises for the sake of surprises, and Jarrett collecting a paycheck from another major promoter made this angle look more like something from the turn of the century than what you expect out of AEW. They gave it a C+.
What I don't like, whether it be because I'm a Sting fan or just as a wrestling fan as a whole, is I get the easiness of, like, having a fake Sting, but throughout the years, I mean, you know, obviously it started the NWO stuff, NWO Sting, and then, you know, all the promos and
who was actually bigger than Sting himself.
All the
Japan.
actual Sting promos where they had fake Stings come out of the audience and stuff like that. But then you go back to, you know, I think early 2000s, you had multiple people play Sting, Surfer Sting, Crow Sting in a match with Flair, Jarrett, and then you had, like, you know, Anderson come out of Sting and TNA.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
It's definitely been done before, and what I don't like is every time it happens, I feel like the fake Sting looks less and less like Sting. Like, you could easily tell when he came out that it wasn't Sting.
Because they used that plastic mask.
Hey, plastic, horrible looking
saying,
plastic
but
mask. Plus, he was wearing a hood.
They got it from a Halloween store that is a plastic with the little.
It says Wrestling Crow Mask instead of Sting.
Come on.
But that takes away from the moment for me.
I agree.
mean, like, when you see it, like, immediately as soon as he came out, I was like, oh, well, that's not Sting. I mean, I know what they're trying to do. It's been done before. I mean, like Bleacher Report said, but that's not Sting. I mean,
I Cole Carterly agree.
Nice.
Thanks. Was that good?
It was all right.
It was a C+, like the segment.
Yeah,
got it.
I got I was tracking.
All right. I Cole Carterly agree. Don't laugh, Jonathan.
R.I.P. Aaron Carter.
You heard that, folks. He cracked.
it just definitely sounded like an Elliot comment. No offense.
What does that even mean,
King
bro?
of dad jokes.
Is that a dad joke? Was that a dad joke?
Dadism. You know, making a joke out of something.
Was that a
Or euphemism.
Was that a joke?
Or was that a joke?
Sorry.
I'm
Maker's Mark is talking.
Maybe it's the Tito's. I don't know.
Tito's is hitting.
That was a good joke. That was a good joke. All
But,
right, folks. Tito's.
How about that former Ring of Honor champion returning? Horrible.
Pew, pew.
Colt Cabana. Everybody, I'm sitting here laughing because everyone in the chat's like,
I was way behind watching it live, so I ignored the chat, but
Boom, boom.
was watching
Colt
it, like,
Cabana.
got off work, stopped to get gas, and I was like, I just got to see who it is. And so I went, and I was like, that's definitely a shot.
Yeah. That's all it was.
But
I love Colt. I do love Colt. But
I
nobody picked him.
no, nobody picked
That's
him.
the funny part. We picked all the we picked the world champions.
Man,
we picked
Chris Hero, Shane Taylor.
Colt Cabana.
what I do
What a
find
loser.
Yes. What I do find interesting, though, so, follow who you want, but Wrestling Observer is very known to be, friends with the Young Bucks, or
Of course.
however you want to word it.
Is that Meltzer?
Meltzer, yeah.
Oh,
So when
Meltzer driver.
So he's been on record before saying like Punk's not coming back is over, and then the Wrestling Observer reported after Colt debuted that it was a direct message to the locker room that CM Punk is most likely not returning. And I was like, well, it's already gone from not happening to most likely. So
It's not. It's not. We can all
got a year.
we can all put that.
They got a year to
Remember
heal
to-
emotionally. He's got a year to heal physically. It'll all be over. Be back.
So let me ask you this, Shane, because you're the one that's
Uh,
has been on this boat for a little while. So you've said that like multiple times AEW is going down. Yeah, they're out. Don't roll your eyes. You have on the podcast. So I mean, we got proof.
I think he's just blinking.
Maybe tonight.
okay, where are you going with this
But,
handbook?
all right, so
I'm
AEW
as knowledgeable as Dave Meltzer.
I wish you could see
That was
Jonathan's
a
face.
sarcastic statement.
Okay. So, I mean, AEW they in no way, shape, or form have to make a decision on Punk anytime soon.
No,
I mean, they could
it's
wait
true.
till the day before he was healthy. I mean, you
Depends.
don't know. I mean, it
Depends.
depends. What I'm saying, but they don't have to.
They might. Depends if he went legal or not. Depends.
Okay.
Even if he
But-
goes legal, though, I mean, but even if he goes
I'm
legal,
saying
that has to go through the courts.
At this point in time,
Settlements.
there's no decision that has to be made today
That we know of.
that we know of. So
Okay.
let's say
We know settlements.
say
take a while,
say,
too,
say
though.
Punk's out a year, and
Okay.
he's not going to return till let's say Halloween next year. That's his return date. That's when he's supposed to be healthy. You think if ratings are down come next summer, AEW's not doing as hot, that they're not going to be, if he's still on the roster or still on payroll, that they're not going to be like, maybe we can bring you back.
Let's see if we can smooth this out.
It just really all depends on
I'm
the impact it would have on
Wrestling.
the roster, the people within. It just depends. I mean, as a businessman, would I be open to it? If I'm a what's best for business type of guy, regardless of personal vendettas, regardless of opinions, politics, regardless of what you believe. I don't care.
Speaking of,
No. What I'm saying from a business standpoint, if you're going to make me money, we can put all the differences aside. That's my belief. But do I think they'll do it? I think what's done is done, and what's already happened has happened. We just don't know it yet. That's my belief. But I think they're pretty good at keeping it under wraps.
y'all see the Tenille Dashwood, aka Emma, show up on SmackDown, bro.
I love Tenille Dashwood.
want some more.
Is she going by Emma?
Yeah, she went by Emma. I was kind of upset by that, but I got it. I understood it.
I get it.
What I didn't wasn't
He could get it.
what I wasn't sure of is if her Impact contract's up or not.
It's got to be.
I just wasn't sure.
It has to be. Didn't she go like?
I just didn't know. I saw her I saw her on the TV. I'm thinking, wait a second, is this Triple H's way of
Thank God she's not Emelina.
the Forbidden Door, or
Never.
is she is her contract up?
It's got to be up. I mean, she's signed with WWE. They made her shut down her OnlyFans.
Oh,
They made Scarlett shut down hers too.
who?
Scarlett.
Scarlett.
Boudreaux.
Oh,
But
Sure.
she is signed to WWE. It's hard to believe Tenille's only 33. She's been wrestling a long time. She's
Well,
still in the
when she first came to WWE, she was young
she's still in her prime, man. So
with Santino Morella.
was that who she was with?
Yeah, when she first came to
Emma?
WWE. Yeah, Emma and Santino.
I thought she was with the pirate guy. What was his name?
I don't know.
Um,
Was he the rated R superstar?
no, I can't remember Emma. Let me. Jonathan heard that across the room and laughed. Are you sure she showed up with Paul Burchill? No, that was Katie Lee Burchill. That was no, that's somebody else.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because she would dance with Santino.
When she went to the main roster, Emma was invited by Santino Marella for a dance-off, which she won by the fan vote. Okay, that's coming back now. Oh, God. I just look back at 2005, and it's like, oh, my God, that's how long WWE's been so bad for. That's about right.
And what,
05 was that Batista.
18.
Cena.
That was 18 years.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
Wait. No, that doesn't add up.
What?
05?
You're right. Almost 18 years.
Yeah, but she wouldn't be 33.
No. She would be.
No, I'm telling you, that means she would have been 15 then. That ain't right. You said she's only 33 years old, right?
She's 33. She would have been 18. Wait a minute.
2005, 2023. That's 2022. That's.
I'm sorry, sir.
17
my
years.
math's off. It's 2015.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's,
Sir, I'm tired,
that's
bro.
a little better.
It is what it
this
is.
year's 25.
Okay, that makes more sense. She was 16.
Wait a second.
She was 16.
I am 16.
All right.
I'm 17.
Sorry, folks. Our numbers, our mathematics are off. You know, is what it is. She was 14, bro. Well, you know, is what it is. But so AEW, we got Dynamite tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Let's run down what we know of the card. They haven't really released a lot. There's a little bit of matches and a little couple segments.
I saw there was going to be a special segment from Mox. I saw that. It looks like Ricky Starks made his return. And kind of mentioned the whole thing of, hey, I'm going to be the guy to make sure I hold this place up on my back, type of thing. But let's see. Will Britt Baker show up and come face to face with Saraya? Nope. From the Agganis, is it Agganis or Agganis Arena in Boston?
Spell it.
Agganis.
And I would say
Agnes. Let's see, you got that. We hear from AEW World Champ Jon Moxley, live in Boston, Massachusetts. AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament kicks off. We hear from MJF. He's back.
Okay.
Excited to see what he says.
What's he going to say? What's he going to talk about?
Let's see here. Right now, the car currently. Wow. Why are they doing that again?
What?
Yeah, Danielson versus Guevara. Best 2 out of 3 falls.
Isn't this the third match?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're going to have 6 matches.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Saraya face to face.
Yeah, something's going to throw a monkey wrench in it.
AEW World Champion Jon Moxley
is doing what?
You just hear from him.
Woo!
Sky Blue versus Jamie Hayter.
Snooze fest.
World Title Eliminator Tournament with Eddie Kingston versus Ethan Page.
Snooze fest.
And then probably the match of the night, the Acclaimed and FTR versus Swerve and Auxiliary and Colt and the Gun Club.
Colt Cabana?
No, Austin and Colton Gunn.
Oh,
Gun Club.
That'll be
8-man tag.
That's match of the night.
With Billy Gunn in the Acclaim's corner.
Of course, Daddy Ass has got to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Not Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass.
Well,
Scissor me, Daddy Ass.
Billy Gunn.
Daddy Ass.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Ass was taken.
It's true. You cracked
No
it.
argument.
That's all that matters.
No argument there. Powerhouse shows up.
It was a last week on his birthday celebration. It was nice to see a few shots taken at WWE about Billy not showing up at the DX reunion.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was.
I love Billy Gunn, man. I love the run he's on. It's not overpowering, but its placement is perfect, and it's not overshadowing. say the main eventers or the AEW World Championship. It's just perfect.
When his matches, I mean, when the times he wrestles, he's wrestling really well.
To me, he's one
Fine wine.
underrated in the sense that, like, kind of along the lines like Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, or whatever. Like, I mean, he's been wrestling for a while, and I mean, it's still like he still looks good. I mean, he still looks good. I mean, he's still in shape. I mean, like,
Well, people forget.
he's probably taking the needle.
Oh yeah.
People forget for a while there at the Performance Center, he was one of the main coaches with Booker T and Road Dogg and others. Making sure all these guys were.
Don't think for a second that Brian James and Hunter and all them and Sean don't want him back there. I mean, they.
You think he would go back if he was?
At this point in his career, it's all about money for him. So that'd be tough, man. Because I think he's loving what he's doing.
I was gonna say you could.
I think he's loving being there with his sons.
Depends on who you ask. Money's not everything.
Depends on who you ask. I see what you did there, Jonathan. That was funny. I caught that really quick.
But
not that far gone. But
well, that was meant to be taken multiple ways.
Oh, well, I think he loves being there with his kids.
I mean,
But I think
say WWE offered him double the money, but he was going to be behind the scenes, not on camera.
Double or nothing.
You think he'd take it?
I don't know if he'd go all out or not.
Or all in.
It's quite a revolution.
My God.
I mean, he's in full gear where he's going now.
Okay, folks.
Winter is coming.
By the time I answer this, it would be here. I think he would. I do. I don't
know. I think he's having
a
blast right now. To me, at that age, I mean, he's made some money.
Yeah,
easily. So
he's still making money,
and he might be in a situation where he needs it. You never know. But I think if he's okay where he's at financially now, there wouldn't be necessarily an amount of money that would cause him to go back with the amount of fun. I mean, you could tell he's having fun out there.
Oh, he's having a blast, but I don't know. I think when you get to a certain point in your career,
he don't look like a desk job type person to me.
Money talks, man. In that business, it's money's ruthless.
To some,
to most. It'd be interesting. I would be interested to see. I'd like to know when his contract's up, because I guarantee you,
probably 2024. That's when all those are.
I know. I think deep down he would, because at the end of the day, man, he's still going to see his sons. He's not going to not see his kids, but I think he's enjoying being on TV time with them.
Well, I think the question,
a prominent part of TV about that.
I think if he went
family
back,
time rules all.
I think if he went back to WWE, that they'd put him in that coach's role again at the Performance Center, and I just don't know if that's something that he wants, especially when right now he can be in front of the camera. I mean, there's something about being a performer that's
I was gonna say Shane watches wrestling. I watch like anything wrestling related. So I've watched. You don't look at me like that.
I'm wondering where this is going.
So I watched the AEW biography they did on DX, and they interviewed. I mean, that's new. Like that just came out a couple weeks ago, and they
A&E.
Yeah, on A&E.
I could have sworn he said AEW. I was like, wait a minute, where is this at?
I was tracking
A&E.
Okay,
the biography episode, and Billy was on there a good bit. Sorry, it's the Tito's.
It's the Tito's.
But Billy was on there, and he talked about, I mean, it was all about DX. There was no mention of AEW or anything, but he talked about what it was like when DX was going on, like seeing everybody do the crotch chop, like suck it, all that at school, like how much it had on pop culture. And
I told
I think
my teacher to suck it one time when I was
watching him talk about it.
I got 2 words for you.
I did that.
My mama told me to tell you. But watching him talk about it and seeing the passion behind what he was saying and seeing him now with the acclaim, I don't see him leave. I wouldn't see him leaving while this is going on. I mean, even if his contract was up, I think he'd be like, I just got to ride this out. Because
would you be willing? would you be willing to say that Scissor Me Daddy is on the same level, if not bigger than Suck It?
It just depends on how long it lasts. Because I mean, Suck It lasted. You're talking that whole
It's
thing
still
lasted.
going on.
Yeah.
I
just
couldn't
think it's
go that far. I mean, I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, but Suck It only goes on whenever they return, right? It's not an every week thing.
No, but you still see you see a football player score a touchdown and like do the Suck It motion now.
This is true. It's still that
I
relevant.
don't see football players scoring a touchdown and doing scissor me.
But you
Hey,
also,
scissor me, daddy. You know, like
but you also
But
had,
that would be a heck of a celebration to go to the crowd and do the scissors.
but you also got to remember though that you had DX and NWA doing that.
what? Suck It.
Yeah, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan.
They were doing Suck It.
Yeah, they wouldn't say Suck It, but they would do this
So-
motion all the time.
NWO was always like
Suck It.
just like
DX did the
Oh,
arrow.
yeah.
DX would always do the cross, but then at some point DX stopped doing the cross and just started doing the.
When WCW got bought out by WWE, they stopped doing the cross and just went from the X to the crotch.
Woo! Love it. Yeah.
Oh, hey,
That's a
Hey,
tonight's
come
the night
on.
tonight's the night to do that.
Oh,
That's not Sam Elliott, not Dodge Ram. I
no,
know where you're going with that.
No, well, Hodge Twins always, hey, we got us a new truck.
We got us a new truck.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
Get you warm real quick.
yeah, I mean, there's midterm 2022.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit. I didn't want it to be a big focus of this show because I do like enjoying. I tell everybody, man, professional wrestling is my escape. It's my escape from the world.
Escape.
It's my escape. It's my escape from the noise of the world.
Funny, spelled just like the word escape.
Jonathan,
42 people all the way.
What?
What? He said 42 P Wallaby Way.
What did you just?
42 P Wallaby Way, Sydney. Finding Nemo.
Escape.
Escape. Funny, it's spelled just like the word escape.
It's another one I've never seen. Sorry,
Hey.
guys.
You can read. I can read.
You've never seen Finding Nemo?
We don't talk about it.
We're about to. Screw the politics talk.
I'm Dory.
But it's interesting.
Hello.
Swimming.
Hello, name's Bruce. I'm an ice shark,
That part I know.
not a mindless meat-eating machine. Fish are friends, not food.
That was on cue. That was nice.
So, current politics. At today's election day, we're not going to go too deep with this because we like keeping it all about things that are not what's the word? Confrontational. That's inaccurate right now. Inaccurate. So, just to file today's election day, November 8th, 2022, midterms. Currently, you all right there, buddy?
No, he was laughing
Laughing
at
at
you.
you.
2022.
I had it.
Where did
Think of the year. Majority in the Senate requires 51. It's 45-45. Majority in the
House.
The House is 218, right? I got 152 Republicans and 96 Democrats.
So CNN showing 169-46 Republicans.
So, just I don't want to spend a lot of time on this just because it's just too confrontational.
It's because of me, folks.
No, it has nothing to do with Jonathan Winburn.
No,
it has nothing to do with
sweet
anybody specifically. I just think it's not really. I use wrestling and sports and movies as an escape, and I want to escape everything else. But I just think the people that are showing up to the polls, man, are just, in a nutshell, just tired. Just tired of what they're experiencing. They're tired of the same old, same old. They're tired of lifelong politicians. They're tired of inflation. Tired of high gas prices and not being able to afford what they want to do. That's it. In a nutshell.
Or they know one candidate.
No, this is
vote
me in a
that whole
nutshell.
party.
Help him in a nutshell.
I do know that Austin Powers reference, so kudos to you, sir. What's that, Jonathan? Go ahead.
I said, or they just know one candidate and they vote whole party.
Never vote. Never. Oh. Never vote straight party, folks. That's
I
just-
agree, but that's not the majority. I think most people just go in and vote one way or another.
So that's an interesting stat. Hold that up to me, Elliot. This is I guess the one race I was most interested in is the Georgia Senate race. So that's the one with Raphael Warnock, the pastor, the Democratic incumbent, going against Herschel Walker, former University of Georgia running back.
Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go Dogs.
Amazing football player. I was interested to see what was done in this race because I think this race spoke the most because Georgia's already a politically divided state, half and half, 50-50, right down the middle. Go back there, pull that back up, Elliot, so I have it to reference to. So I was interested to see what the voters said in Georgia. What were they looking for in Georgia? And it looks like right now they're literally, I said 50-50. They got Herschel Walker in the lead by almost 30,000 votes, 49.43% to 48.62%. We all know what happens in Georgia if nobody gets to 50. That's a runoff.
Right now, 71% reporting.
So there's a lot more votes to count, right? So I don't think that race ends in a runoff. I think somebody gets to 50 and it ends. But
and you got
it's all about who showed up.
Incumbent Governor Brian Kemp looks like he kept his seat over
he won.
Stacey Abrams.
That was a big victory in Georgia. But again, it just proves, it just goes to show that we are a heavily divided nation.
We are the world.
There's literally no.
We are the children.
There's no meet me in the middle. I don't think there's any meet in the middle. I think it's just you're left, you're right, you're red or you're blue.
No Diamond Rio here,
which is sad.
It is. It really is, and it's. I love talking politics, but I'm selective who I talk them to because, like, sometimes I can say things that would make my Republican friends really upset, and sometimes I can say something that would make my Democrat friends really upset.
Oh, we know that one.
I mean, I'm just honest. I mean, even Jonathan's looked at me like I've said some things where he would assume that I wouldn't say.
He has surprised me a few times.
And you'd be, we share. I think me and Elliot are probably most similar. I try as much as possible to be as centered as possible because, especially in the world of pro wrestling, man, pro wrestling is very political. Not even in the sense of Republican Democrat, but like all walks of life, right? So you got straight and gay, you got Republican, you got Democrat, you believe this, you believe that. You have so many different trans, you got so many different walks of life. And you have to be sensitive and be willing to at least listen to somebody else's point of view and respect their point of view because it is their point of view. It's their right to believe.
And my problem is more often than not, you can be willing to listen to someone, but they're not willing to listen to you. And that's where, for me, I'm like, hey, I'd love to have a sensible conversation, but if just because my point of view or opinion is different, I mean, nowadays, and this goes across the board, I believe in our society, if we disagree, we are automatically labeled something else.
I agree.
And at a point, we're automatically labeled
racist or whatever.
Racist, sexist, homophobe, transphobe, bigot.
That was a fun word.
And, and indoctrinator, or, anything you want to pick. I mean, if you have an opposing view to your neighbor, then nowadays as a society we've become so thin-skinned that we can't look at each other and say, "Hey, you know what? We can agree to disagree, and we can still be friends, man."
Here's the thing: like I sit across from the table we sit across from the table from one another, and where we have our beliefs. One may lean one way, one may lean the other way. But if at the end of the day, if that topic becomes so detrimental to our relationship, it doesn't need to be a topic. There's no reason that we would need to focus on that because there's too many things we do agree on outside of politics that we're relatable in where we can focus on and our relationship can bloom. So, like, I look at Jonathan, we have a lot of beliefs that we believe in similar things. We have a lot of things we disagree in. But at the end of the day, professional wrestling, sports, movies, work, there's our relationships, our marriage, kids. There's so many other things that we can relate to one another on, where I'm not going to allow something as small and minute as his political beliefs or my political beliefs to take away from the majority of the things that we agree on.
Now, I've had,
And even though it's in our control, I mean, everybody should go vote. It's still not directly in our control, like individually.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, me and Shane's had these conversations a lot, but I definitely think that people should be open to listen to both sides. But that's my issue when it comes to voting. So
the two-party system.
Not this election. I mean, any election. So like if you go in, like if I go in and vote and I do straight Democrat or straight Republican, either way, do I know everything about all the people running for every category or every position? No. So if I vote straight Republican and then there's the only option is Republican or write-in, even though I don't know anything about that person, I'm automatically giving them a vote. So like what if as a write-in somebody else stands a chance? I don't know anything about them, but I'm giving, like, my vote is hurting the write-in candidate all because I'm just voting. I think when you go in to vote, it shouldn't tell you who's part of what party. Like if you've done the research and you know your candidates, you should know what party they're part of.
Funny story. There was a position on the 2020 ballot for Kershaw County that I think I got like 7 votes on as a write-in.
What? You got voted?
Yeah, I got like 7 votes.
Wow.
Because I saw it.
Soil and water conservative, wasn't it?
No, I don't remember what it was, but
why are you laughing? I know it has to do with water, Elliot. I know the issue you had. I know it has to do with the water.
No, it was I don't remember what it was, but
F.
I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was, but I noticed there was only one person running. So I was like, after I put my own name down.
How'd you know you got 7 votes?
Because I posted something on Facebook, said, "Hey guys, I noticed that there's only one person running for this, so feel free to put my name in." And like 7 or 8 people said, "Hey, I wrote you in." I'm like, great,
oh, my Lord.
But
tipping the scale.
So the example.
How's that, Ross Perot?
So the example I used was, if only one person was running. But even if there was one person from each party running, if you don't know something about either candidate, my whole thought process is you shouldn't automatically just be like, I mean, you can't tell me that somebody has every view.
You don't.
Identically to a candidate or to a party. Like there's got to be things that you disagree on. So like you can't go into an election and say like, I'm going to vote straight this without knowing anything.
Because you got to look at people like Joe Manchin, who's one of my favorite people in Congress.
Well,
the most middle of the ground, moderate. He calls himself, I'm a West Virginia Democrat. He's as middle of the road as you get.
And that's what people in South Carolina would have called a Dixie Party candidate or
Dixie
Southern
Crat.
Democrat. Yep.
Dixiecrat.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember that term.
I mean, I'll use me for example. So I don't necessarily align with either party because I want to hear both sides, but I also don't follow politics the way that Shane does. So, I mean, I can't, like when I went in to vote, there was people where I was like, I don't know anything about either one. If I vote, to me, that's not doing the system justice because I don't know anything about either candidate. So I don't know who I'm voting for. If I vote for one person, they may not be the best candidate, or they may not align with my beliefs just because it's the way I decided to vote.
I had someone call me today and just said, "Hey, I figure you would," and I'm not using their name for a reason because
or the position or
yeah. But they called me today and said, "Hey, I'm calling you because when it came down to knowing about this, I figured you'd probably be the best person for me to call. Can you tell me about these 2 positions?" And I'm like, "Hey, it's funny because we've kind of been talking about that." And I just said, if you're interested in this, and this, you may want to look at this candidate. here's the differences between the two on these issues.
But you did so without bashing either one.
Yeah.
So there's a way. I mean, you can talk about a candidate from the left or from the right or from the middle or from whatever direction, and speak to their good, because each one's going to have their good. It just all depends on what the people want. That's ultimately what's going to be what's elected or who's elected. I hope to God there's a someday in this country where there's no political party. Like, you either have candidate A, candidate B.
Well,
here's what they believe. Here's what this person believes.
And
vote who you want.
I think that's what our generation. I think this is between our generation and maybe our parents' generation or grandparents' generation. What I noticed with them is our parents' generation and possibly even our grandparents' generation as well, is they are loyal to a party, right? Where I feel like a lot of our generation tends to be more loyal to a candidate.
Correct.
I mean, I could see it that way. So, I mean, I've had this conversation with Shane a lot. I mean, off the air, we talk politics a good bit, even though we usually are on different sides of the spectrum. But conversation, I mean, actual conversation and listening is a good way to, a good way to go about it. But I think, and I don't know, I mean, it probably started back when the whole two-party, system became a thing. But I think it's definitely been a pendulum swing, and it's constantly like, as it switches sides, it goes further and further each side. So I think, especially in the last 10 to 20 years, it's gotten worse, where it's like, you have one party win presidency or take control of the House or whatever, and then people, you have people that are behind their decision, then you have people that are against it, and then, like, by the time the next election gets here, everybody's like, we're tired of it. You have more people swing the other way, and then it's like the pendulum is swinging further and further left, and then further and further right, and then it to me, it's just causing more of a divide. I definitely think we need to get to a spot where it's definitely more about the country as a whole and not about which side you're on. I mean, that's just me. That's why Shane tried to tiptoe around it, but I'm not a fan of the politics conversation, just because I feel like it's always not between us.
I did not plan on this going this deep.
Not between us, but just society as a whole is always so divided, and I don't see a way of it getting to a good spot. I just feel like it's constantly.
It's always going to be a divider.
Majority of people are always just going to be like, "Well, it's not this. I'm on the other side."
See, I've always been the type of person though that the saying is never discuss politics or religion.
Why?
And I'm the type of person that says no. Let's discuss it. Why not? No matter what.
I mean, you don't have similar views on a lot of things. I mean, we've stayed up and messaged each other for hours before going back and forth on different
because it's okay
different
to
topics. But it was good conversation. Even though I have my beliefs, I'm always willing to listen to another side, because you never know when somebody's going to say something to be like, "Oh, I get where you're coming from. Like, I understand that. I didn't think about it that way. That makes sense."
I'm just big on the fact that
not that it's going to sway my way of thinking, but it's like, I can see where you're coming from. I get why you think the way you think. And
that's
I think
all that matters.
For the longest time, though, I was of the mindset I've got to sway their vote. I've got to change their way of thinking.
And that's not our job.
Well,
well, folks, I had 3/4 of a bottle of Tito's when I walked up here,
and
it's gone.
But it can't.
So
it's election day,
and so is my kid's apple juice. And so is my kid's apple juice. She's gonna be upset. Oh man!
Sorry, Jonathan said, "It is election day."
But our job, our job shouldn't be to ever
got him.
Our job shouldn't be to change somebody's mind.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For the longest time, that was my that was kind of my thought process. Is, hey, I've got to convince them, change them, some way, one way or another. But I've had to just getting older, kind of realize, hey, it's not my job to convince you, sway you, change you, or whatever. It's just my job to inform you of my beliefs or what I think, and you can take them. You can agree, you can disagree, and in the end, whatever.
I agree. Yeah, that's politics in a nutshell.
Yep.
You can share them.
Pretty much.
You can share your beliefs. At the end of the day, don't let it dictate your relationships because you'd have no friends if you let it dictate you.
Or a lot less than you think you got.
But, I mean, it can definitely generate followers on Facebook. I'll tell you that.
Oh, man.
It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great.
Speaking of which, let's just finish it with that. I know Jonathan knew it was coming. Jonathan was waiting for the topic to end, but Donald Trump's announcing his candidacy November 15th.
Very, very, very probably. That's
So,
what he said.
like, all right, so
Did you hear that?
I have not watched it.
he's about to announce his candidacy next week, next Tuesday.
So on November 5th, he I think it was November 5th.
So I'll need a whole bottle of Tito's.
He was just speaking. He said, a lot of change is coming. Very, very, very probably, very, very probably soon. You'll find out.
Sound like some cartoon character.
It's only Porky Pig.
Very, very probably.
That's all, folks.
So hearing that makes me want to drink really heavily.
Maker's Mark.
101.
Ram.
But I'm just trying to be careful what I say and how I say it. So I aligned with I'm not gonna lie. I aligned with Donald Trump on certain things.
Shane said, "Don't tread on me."
Don't tread on. Where did I hear that?
Don't tread on me.
Is that a song?
You see the flags with the rattlesnake all the time.
Oh, I was like,
tread on me.
I saw that somewhere. Is that a song? I think that's a song. Don't tread on me. That's a song we sing. I don't know what it is. I'll think about it. But oh yeah, that's the guy we met, the rapper, Jonathan. The rapper. You got the big old booty in the backwoods. Don't tread on. That's him. But anyway, who the F is Just in Time? Yeah. Don't tread on me. That's a song of his. Anyway, I don't know why I'm like way out in left field with that, but
I know why.
like I do align with Donald Trump on certain things. Mainly,
Maker has left his mark.
see what you did there. Donald Trump, I aligned with economically, militarily. Is that a word? Militarily? Sure. That's
It
about
is
it.
tonight.
That's about it. That's really about it. I mean, those are really the big two things I aligned with Donald Trump on. At the other end of the day, man, Donald Trump had his time. He's 78, 79, old.
Good head of hair.
Is it his? I've always wondered that.
It's mine.
Yeah. But you saw what
It's real.
Governor Ron DeSantis did in Florida tonight.
Yeah, almost 60% of the vote.
So we obviously know who the future of that party is. I think, judging by his
Well, not to mention
margin of victory,
not to mention with some of the
he turned
Some of the-
Dade County Republican for the first time in God knows how long.
well, but not to mention you also have, well, let's just cut it there instead of going to getting more into it because I could talk. I could talk more about this, but
My point is, Republican, Democrat, go younger, please, for the love of God. Go younger. Get these 45, 50-year lifetime
and let's
politicians out of office,
go younger and let's get term limits for everything. That's all I ask.
including Supreme Court.
Everything,
Yes.
all of it.
I'll agree with that.
See that, folks? That's how you find common ground. There's a way to do it. Term limits I'm for it. Get these old geezers out of office.
It makes no sense for someone to be able to make a living off my taxpayer dollars.
On left or right, I'm talking Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. I'm talking Mitch McConnell. I'm talking
Come on!
all these people. All these candidates. Whatever The Rock says. All of them.
Elliot was definitely Shinsuke.
I was.
Come on!
Definitely.
Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Anyway.
I ain't got a witness. I can't prove it. Turn up.
But I think politics is a good
Don't tread on
note
me.
to end on. I'm
So
gonna
what?
listen. I'm gonna listen to
Don't
that song.
tread on
after.
me.
Don't tread on me.
I'm gonna listen to that song now. Once we get off the air.
Have y'all
What?
have y'all paid attention? What's the guy's name?
Mm.
He does a lot of he's done a lot of different. He's a hip hop artist. Done a lot of different songs that
Jelly Roll.
no, not Jelly Roll.
Are you okay?
You can't.
That's all I heard in my ear. Mm-mm.
You might as well get up and go to that bathroom, bro.
There's way more Tito's in that than apple juice.
You all right?
Pour some of your loaded tea in there.
There you go.
It's just water. It's not a loaded tea. It's just water.
Loaded tea and vodka.
They do those.
What?
Yeah.
At Revolution?
But they've at one point they were doing them at Show Me, I believe.
Oh, we don't go there. Revolution only. What? Why is he laughing so hard? Jonathan,
That's why.
my whole bottle's gone.
I still go to shows.
I don't go there.
Yeah, I think at one point they were doing that.
Mm. Well, that's because Sarah used to work there.
Da-da-da-da.
But y'all, I had a great episode tonight.
This show has gone off the rails.
It's what we do, but I had a great night. Fellow brothers talking pro wrestling, a little bit of did we even say anything about movies? Who knows?
Oh no.
Black Panther comes out this week.
That's all that matters. That's all
Yeah.
that matters, folks. Black Panther.
You mentioned that earlier. You mentioned you were going to try and go see it tomorrow, and we realized, oh no, it doesn't open until Thursday.
Yeah.
He would be the only person in the theater.
I'd be the only
3:30.
one showing up.
3:30 movie.
Hey, I'm here to see Black Panther. Sir, come back tomorrow.
Wait, this looks like
no.
Black Adam.
No, I'm just standing in line.
But a great night talking pro wrestling, fantasy, football, pro football, wrestling. What else?
J
Ugh.
got into politics a little bit.
Hey,
Got into politics a little bit. Yeah,
but we
It's a
did
good show.
it. At the end of the day, we still love one another, folks. Love everybody.
Yep. Houston Astros, your World Series champions. Ugh.
Disgusting. There's a reason we left that off the topic.
I mean, they won and they didn't cheat.
I'm sure
So-
they
They
did.
did win. And I had some Astros players on my fantasy team. So
There you
Correa.
no,
Oh,
Altuve.
Valdez.
oh, okay.
Look at that. You see that? I knew a baseball player.
Some Spanish
Look at
last
that.
name.
He
Rodriguez.
has killed it though
Yeah.
all season.
This is
If
true.
it wasn't for Verlander, he'd be the MVP of the team.
Guys, I had a great night.
Yeah, it was a good night. Guys, we appreciate you listening. As always, I'm Elliot,
And I'm Shane.
And I'm Jonathan with some Tito's.
and this has been the Lowdown Popcast. And as always, guys, let's keep it popping.